Hi once again, everybody, and welcome back to Kings Classics. Tonight we're going to take a look at a regular season game that occurred in Ottawa, January 16th, 2001. I'm joined tonight by Jim Fox, played for the Kings for 10 years at right wing, 7th all-time in Kings scoring, and my partner on the Fox Sports telecast. I would imagine some people are going to look at this first period and say, why is this being shown as a Kings Classic? Because the Kings did not have a good first period here. They really were being outplayed early on.
It was a classic when you talk about the Ottawa Senators because it was Ottawa Senators' classic style. They were known as a team that comes out very quick. Quick skating, quick in transition. If you turn the puck over, they come back at you very quick. And that's exactly the way the first period went. The Los Angeles Kings tried to get a couple things going early, but it really never went their way. And looking back on it, maybe one of the periods, one of the worst periods in the whole season for the Los Angeles Kings. They tried to get it going. It just never did happen. Now, when you look at the Ottawa Senators, you wonder why they haven't won a Stanley Cup by now. I mean, they were such a good team when it came to going to that transition, which became part of the whole NHL. Another factor that was on the side, though, was the Rob Blake factor. Going to Canada, the focus increases. Rob Blake was an unrestricted free agent coming up at the end of that year. The talk was starting about whether the Kings are going to keep Rob Blake, trade Rob Blake. And believe me, when you get to Canada, everything picks up a notch. So maybe on the side, there was something going on right there where the Kings were distracted because a lot of talk about that situation off the ice. On the ice, the Kings couldn't get it going.
Let's talk about who else was on the ice. The King goaltenders, Steve Passmore and Jamie Storr. In fact, Steve Passmore started for the 7th time in the last 10 games. He started that night. Also, guys like Kelly Buchberger was there, and Glenn Murray and Jari Karalahti.
I think you could just see another thing, Bob, where the Kings were maturing as a team from the standpoint of role players. You know, the Kings, throughout their history, have been known and to have a certain theme on a team, a quick skate. But now they were picking up guys, the experience of a Buchberger, Stu Grimson, who's one of my favorite players from the standpoint. You know, this guy did the intimidation factor, not only on the ice, but Stu Grimson is known as one of the best his lines from the bench on the ice when he's yelling at players. He had some of the best lines, and players are looking around, and it keeps everyone on your own bench kind of calm and quiet. But on the other time, it does intimidate the other team. And I think Lubomir Visnovsky, he's a rookie defenseman. He gets a chance to play where you can see the skill of a Visnovsky. It's coming through. He's becoming a better player. And like I said, the Kings kind of maturing into a better team.
Jim, I think it was one of those games on the road where you start out and there's just no jump, and you think, is this just a feeling out process, or is this Kings team going to get something going? Ottawa had everything going their way.
You know, sometimes you play road games where you keep it simple early in the game, and I don't know if the Kings certainly weren't doing that early in the game. And again, you have to credit the Ottawa Senators for capitalizing it, but it wasn't one of those games where the Kings or any road team gets into that mindset where you get the puck deep, feel it. It just didn't happen. The Kings were totally outplayed, and they never came back until the game went along.
And I think we thought there'd be a more physical game. There really wasn't even any hitting going on to speak of in that first period. Ottawa came in first in the Northeast Division, first in the Eastern Conference. Kings came in third in the league in goals. And so it looked like this is going to be a really good game.
And the Kings can be a team that can keep up with other teams because they're skating, but also I think the Kings are going to win this game. They have to have some type of a ground game. But by that I mean more of a physical presence, maybe keeping it simple with bodies in front and crash and slam. Yes, they had players like Glenn Murray who could fly. And again, Visnovsky back on the blue line who could carry the puck up the ice and skate. Eric Belange. The skaters were there for the Kings, but they also had a little bit of beef. And it was a matchup, a classic matchup from the standpoint of style. The fast skating Senators against the Kings, who want to become known as a team that can skate. At the same time, they have to play physical to win.
Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and look at the first 2 periods. Now, don't get discouraged. This is going to turn out to be a classic game. We'll take a look at periods 1 and 2 when we come back.
We're back live in Ottawa, Ontario. The Kings taking on the Ottawa Senators. The Kings' first game of a 4-game road trip starting in goal for the Kings. I wouldn't say surprise, but certainly a change. Jamie Storr started the last 3. Steve Passmore gets the call tonight. 3 games under 500 on the season for Steve. Before Jamie Storr came in for the last 3, Passmore had played 5 in a row. For the Ottawa Senators, the big man in net, the big pads, Patrick Lalime, he gets the call. Look at the record, 9 games above 500. Goals against average under 2, so certainly very strong in goal. The team of the Ottawa Senators, very strong defensively. Richard Trottier right there, and Rob Martell, the referees on the line, Scott Driscoll, and Johnny Murray. And coming up right now with a play-by-play, Bob Miller.
Thank you very much, Jim. The Kings win the opening faceoff, and Matty Nordstrom blitz it high in the air into the Ottawa zone. And the Senators take over there. This is their first game back after a road trip out west, during which time in Vancouver, the Senators were really hit by the flu, and they hope that they've recovered from that. Puck comes all the way back down into the Ottawa zone and back behind the net. Puck is loose there, picked up and played by Chris Phillips around the boards, and the Kings hold it into the right point. Jari Karalahti sends it on the left wing side. The game just underway here in Ottawa. Aki Berg is back in the King lineup after being out with an ankle problem. Puck is held in. Here is Chris Phillips up to Sean McEachran, the former King. Kings keep it alive. Stumple shoots, and it's deflected wide of the net. Picked up now and played off the glass and out to center by Shane Knighty, a young defenseman. McEachran chases it down, but Karalahti steps in front of him, and Aki Berg's pass taken away. Kings get it up to the blue line, and back they come to center ice. Ziggy Palffy on the right side. Palffy pulls up, got knocked down, tried to get it to Berg, held in by Blake at the right point. He gives it to Palffy. Palffy threw it in back behind the net, and the Ottawa Senators take over there, and they get it up ahead to Daniel Alfredsson. Alfredsson moves it to the King line. Wade Redden throws it down in deep. He gets dumped by Matty Nordstrom. Puck comes around on the left wing side, and the Kings bring it up to center, and Reinquart got taken down. Picked up by the Senators, cleared back into the neutral zone. Minute and a half gone by at the start of the game, and no score yet. Karl Rakunik, 20-year-old out of the Czech Republic, had it for a moment for the Ottawa Senators. Kings doing a pretty good job in the Ottawa zone here early on, and now the Senators bring it up on the right wing side. Here's Marian Hossa, their leading scorer. Hossa cutting down the right side, and Rob Blake gets in front of him to take him out of the play. Nordstrom's pass knocked down by Rob Zaminer. Zaminer in the Kings zone, left side to Hossa, and his shot blocked on the way in. And the Kings clear it back out to center ice. Reinquart's pass up on the right side and thrown down in deep where Patrick Lalime makes the stop.
Bob, certainly you talked about the Kings. One thing they're doing here, they didn't do in the last game, and that was a big disappointment to Andy Murray. The Kings are getting the puck in deep. You can't chance a turnover at the far blue line. Another thing, Bob, you noticed the overall speed of this game, pretty good tempo.
Robitaille with a shot and a save by Lalime. Robitaille firing, and now centering pass to Robitaille. Got his stick on it, but not a good shot. It went wide to the right as it was deflected. Puck comes off the boards and skids all the way back into the Kings zone, and Passmore out to leave it there for Lubomir Visnovsky. Tied for third with Reinquart with rookie scoring this year. Visnovsky almost lost it. Now he goes back to get it, but Snyder over to pick it up for the Kings and give it back to Visnovsky. No score first period. Visnovsky's pass knocked down. Kings get it up to Glenn Murray. Murray can't clear. Here's a puck that rolled in deep and rolled away from Andreas Dackel right toward the King net. Steered away by Passmore. Left side, here is Matthew Schneider back to get it. He wraps it around the boards and back to the blue line and out to center ice. Over 3 minutes now with no whistle at the start of this game. Puck taken by Daniel Alfredsson. Alfredsson right side shoots, and it's high and wide and off the glass. Good hard shot by Daniel Alfredsson in his 6th year out of Sweden. Here's Kelly Buchberger for the Kings. Buchberger cutting in front. Can't get a shot, and nobody there to get his pass as the Senators clear it back out to center. Nordstrom knocked down by McEachran. Head to Yashin. Alexei Yashin, right side. Yashin stopped along the boards by Rob Blake. Puck comes back on the right side, and Blake takes it away for the Kings. He sends it around the boards and out to center ice.
About 2 pretty good plays defensively by Rob Blake. The first time was on Hossa a shift ago when Alexei Yashin was trying to go over the line. Rob Blake, of course, using his size and his reach to slow down the puck carry before he gets anywhere here to body contact. And with Hossa, pretty good job just taking the body.
Here across the line now, Stumple. Stumple in front, and a shot deflected up on a play off the stick of the Kings, Smolinski, I should say. And finally, 3:59 into the first period, we get our first whistle.
Sometimes our flight tonight, luckily we have a charter. We're going to be on there a little early. Andy Murray mentioning back to last game, Bob, against the St. Louis Blues, and very rarely do you want to look back because I think there's a good comparison between the Blues and the Senators. Andy was not happy. He was disappointed the Kings were turning the puck over. Another thing he said, the battling part of it. The St. Louis Blues and the Ottawa Senators, they're not overly physical teams, but they're on top of you, in your face, because they skate so well. They don't give you much time. We saw in that last game how many times the Kings turned the puck over because they thought they had more time than they really did.
Here's Palfield on the right wing side in the Ottawa zone, but he can't hang on. Zaminer trying to dig it out. Now it comes to Smolinski, and his pass taken away. Senators come back to center, working on a 3-on-2. Down the middle of the ears, Hossa shooting, and he scores! Passmore got a piece of it. It was a 3-on-2 break, and Hossa was the trailer. And Passmore got a piece of it, but it went into the net. It's 1-0 Ottawa.
Well, Bob, certainly a breakdown up the ice because it was a clear-cut 3-on-2 by the Ottawa Senators, and Hossa just kind of hung back. It was a smart play because the Senators had control. They had to drive through the middle, get the puck wide. Look at Zaminer. He goes right through the middle to the front. That opens up the space, and the pass is perfect, too, for Hossa. He allows himself to one-time it. You'll see the play developing. The Kings get 3 men caught. Smolinski's the last man who actually fell down. Stumple tries to get back, but because the pass was perfect, Hossa didn't have to waste any time. He didn't have to stop it. He could shoot it right away. No one could catch up, and Passmore did as much as possible to get across the crease, but the shot was too hard. Senators lead 1-0.
First shot on goal of the night for the Ottawa Senators. The 19th goal for Hossa. He leads the team in that department. Bonk and Zaminer with the assist. Here's a shot by Bonk, wide to the left side. Another good chance. Then a shot from the blue line knocked away by Passmore. And the Ottawa Senators with a pressure on the Kings now with a 1-0 lead. Marian Hossa tried to make a move there, but Aki Berg took it away. He gets it to Smolinski. And now off on the right side, the Kings bring it back up to center ice. Pass to the blue line, tipped away and back down into the King zone. At 4:18 of the first period on their first shot of the night, the Senators score. Hossa from Bonk and Zaminer. Here's Robitaille across the line, but it rolls away from him and covered by Patrick Lalime.
Well, Bob, we're going to take another look at that goal. I mentioned the Kings getting caught because there was a 3-on-2 clear cut. What happens? Here's Bryan Smolinski. He's the third man back on the play. Smolinski tries to keep it in. Not too bad, no problem yet. Now watch Smolinski again. He's just going to fall down right there. What that creates is the 3-on-2 going up the ice the other way. And you see Hossa come right into the middle off the wing. And I can't say enough about the pass. The pass was perfect because it allowed Hossa to move into the puck. Hossa could determine when he was going to pull the trigger because it was a soft pass. He didn't have to reach back. He didn't have to look ahead. Just a perfect pass and a perfect shot.
Senators move it up to center ice. They are tied for 8th in scoring in the NHL. They've got 139 goals right now. Kings are tied for 3rd in the NHL in scoring, or 3rd, I should say, not tied for 3rd. Kings break it up in their own zone. The Kings with 147 goals. That's 1 behind St. Louis and Vancouver. Pass on the right wing side to Andreas Dackel. Dackel holds it in. Man alone in front. Shot just deflected wide as Crossbow was alone in front. And Passmore got his stick on it. Now shot again by Crossbow. Now behind the net, Dackel. To Vinny Prospel. He hangs on. Looks out in front. Shot by Dackel. Deflected by Rob Blake. And cleared back up to center ice. Kings with a 3-on-2. Left side, Robitaille. Robitaille's pass broken up, and back to center ice come the Senators. Wade Redden gets it over to Prospel across the line. Nice drop pass. Shot, stick, save. And the puck taken as McEachran shot was saved. Nice play by the Ottawa Senators. Now from center ice, a bouncing puck on the shot by Reinprecht that's knocked away by Lalime, and quickly back on the Senators. Quick transition by the Senators. Shot wide to the left side by Alfredson after he got it from Yashin. And the puck cleared the length of the ice by the Kings. Icing coming up. And you talk about a quick transition from defense to offense. The Senators can do it, and they've got a 1-0 lead here in the first period. 13:28 to go in period number 1. Ottawa Senators, their 9th year in the NHL, and they have a 1-0 lead, and they're celebrating their 5th anniversary tonight of the opening of this building for Corel Center. But taken back behind the net by the Kings' Matty Nordstrom, and cleared back up to center ice. Chased down by Nelson Emerson. Emerson left side, and he tried to throw it back behind the net to Corkum. Taken away there and cleared by Chris Phillips, their #1 pick in '96, up to center ice. Fired down into the Kings zone, and Kelly Buchberger gave it away to Yashin. Yashin's pass back behind the net. Alfredson with it there to McEachran, and his shot just wide to the right. Boy, this line is buzzing all over in the Kings zone, and finally the puck brought up to center ice by Corkum. He sends it in, and Chris Phillips back to get it to the Senators. Checked there by Buchberger. left point. Matty Nordstrom holds it in. He gives it to Bookberger. His pass into the slot, taken away by Sean McEachern. McEachern moves it up towards center ice, batted away right back into the Ottawa zone.
Bob, you mentioned the quick transition to the Ottawa Senators. Andy Murray was talking about that before the game. He mentioned the quick changes. And right now, they seem to be changing at the right time. They have fresh players on the ice when they're ready to go on attack, so they're catching the Kings a little bit in that change game. Normally, that's a strong point of the Kings.
Shot from the right point, and a save made by Passmore as Rakunik got the shot. Kings still in their own zone, trailing 1-0. Long pass up the center ice, and Ziggy Palpe couldn't hang on. Senators send it back to the King line, and back checking to take it away. Stumple gives it over now to Smolinski. His pass up the center ice, tipped away, and Zaminer back to get it for the Ottawa Senators. Senators here at home, 14 wins. They have 10 wins on the road. They have 54 points, first in the Northeast Division, first in the Eastern Conference. And a save and a shot right from the top of the slot by Havlet. Martin Havlet, a young rookie, and Passmore makes that save.
And Bob, that was another example of the Senators just making a change and having a fresh player coming over the boards and beelining right through the middle of the slot. So very important to get fresh players, but also the timing
of Steve Passmore. Passmore's lost his last 3 games, 2 wins, 4 losses in the last 6 for him. This is his 7th start in the last 10 games for the Kings. Ottawa with a 1-0 lead here in the first period. Hockey Berg. Back to Jari Karalahti. Karalahti's pass didn't connect, and this will be an icing call against the Kings with 11:19 to go, and behind the Ottawa bench is Jacques Martin.
And Bob, I mentioned in the open, I think he deserves a lot of credit, certainly for putting a pretty disciplined system into effect here in Ottawa over the last few years, but also with the Alexei Yashin situation last year, missing the whole year, coming back this year, how he was going to be received, all those types of situations may knock a team off kilter. It has not done that. You just mentioned the Ottawa Senators on top of the Eastern Conference. So, yes, on the ice is important, but he's found a way somehow to mold the team together once again. Certainly working.
He puts a lot of emphasis on team defense. He said it's one of the reasons we're on top of the Eastern Conference. Puck is in the Kings zone and slapped by Karalahti around the boards. Tipped by Glenn Murray, but not out. Senators hold it in, and they had Crossbow in deep, but couldn't get it to him. Now Vinny Crossbow with it again. Put it back behind the net to Dackel. Dackel checked in the corner as Belanger throws a check there. Here's Crossbow to Havlet. Havlet, 19-year-old rookie out of the Czech Republic, centers it, taken away by the Kings. And Luke Robitaille, with 1,200 points in his career, gets it up to center ice. Kings into the zone, pass ahead, and bounced off of Glenn Murray and then swept into the corner by goaltender Patrick Lalime. Ottawa Senators have it with 10:33 left to go in the first period. Bob Miller along with Jim Fox. Nice to have you with us here in Ottawa tonight. Tomorrow night we'll be in Toronto. Kings and the Maple Leafs at 4:30. I want to remind you about the next Kings LA Times Family Day. It's going to be a 1 p.m. game on Saturday, February 24th. Kings and the Columbus Blue Jackets for $79. Bring the whole family. You get 4 tickets, 4 Pepsis, 4 hot dogs, parking, and an LA Times. $79. And for tickets, call 1-888-KINGS-LA. That's a 1 p.m. game on Saturday, February 24th.
Bob, the biggest change in the lineup from the standpoint of positioning has been at the center position. Eric Belanger, we've been talking about him the last few weeks. He's moved up onto what you would call the second offensive unit, along with Glenn Murray and Luke Robitaille. Steve Reinprecht, who was there, is out there on the ice right now with Ian LaPerriere and Stu Grimson.
Back behind the Ottawa net, Lalime throws it off the boards, and the Senators bring it back out to center. John Emmons drives it down into the right wing side, broken up there along the right wing boards. Emmons can't get to it, but it's held in again. Now in deep, here's Stu Grimson. Grimson checked there, but the puck comes to John Emmons. Emmons back to the blue line. Gets it back again. Right wing circle. His cross-ice pass picked up by the Senators and then thrown in front by Sean Gagnon. Just recalled from the International League. But it tipped wide of the net, and the Kings get it out to center ice. 9:40 left to go here in the first period. Emmons throws it right back in again. He was born in San Jose, California, John Emmons. Spent 4 years at Yale University. He goes off the ice. Senators make a change, and there's Rob Blake. He gives it over to Matthew Schneider. Kings trying to get it up to center ice, get cut off of the blue line, and Corkum cut off by Alfredson, had to go back and get it. Now it comes to Kelly Bookberger. Bookberger back to Corkum. He shoots, and a save off the arm of Lalime. Puck taken by the Kings to the blue line, but can't hold it in. Senators come back again. Alexei Yashin, right side. Yashin's pass up the middle. Shot wide by Redden. He was in deep, and his shot was deflected, I think, off of the goaltender into the corner as Passmore got a piece of it. Rob Blake clears it back to center ice.
Bob, the Kings a little lucky there. That was a defenseman, Redden, up on the play as opposed to a forward with a better feel offensively, because if Redden just held on to the puck, he had a wide open net. He shot it too quick. He didn't know that he had that much time.
I think the Kings have been very fortunate in this first period to be down just 1-0, because the Senators have had some great scoring chances. Nice look at the Corral Center here outside of Ottawa, as the Senators have a 1-0 lead in this game on a goal by Marian Hossa. Their leading scorer is 19th of the year, came in a 3-on-2. Puck held in the Ottawa zone now, down to Stumple in the corner. He tried to give it to Smolinski. Wouldn't get it over to Ziggy Palffy. The puck not cleared yet, held in by Rob Blake. Blake pinched down the boards, but the Senators have it in their own zone, and they get it up to center ice, where Marian Hossa had it. He got it to Zaminer. Here's Zaminer in deep, bouncing puck, finally poked away from him, but Hossa picks it up. Marian Hossa, right side to Zaminer. Rob Zaminer started to walk in front, now back to the blue line, and a shot by Rakunik is knocked down and cleared out to center. Kings hit it ahead to Ziggy Palffy to Stumple. Stumple's pass on the right side just tipped away, and Smolinski can't hold it in. Back come the Ottawa Senators. Shot from the left side is deflected up high. It was Rakunik with a shot and deflected up into the crowd with 7:48 to go in the first period. King scratches tonight. Marco Tuomainen, Yaroslav Modry, and Scott Thomas. And there is Karl Rakunik, 20-year-old out of the Czech Republic. They got 4 from the Czech Republic, 2 from Sweden, 1 Slovakia, 1 Finland, 1 Russia in that Ottawa lineup. Yashin along the boards. Been booed here because in a contract dispute, he stayed out all of last year till the arbitrator ruled he owed the Senators another year on his contract. Here's Daniel Alfredsson. Alfredsson's pass in front and a save at point blank. Rebound, another save. Alfredsson shot deflected wide. First it was McEachern, then it was Yashin, then Alfredsson. And the pressure kept on by the Ottawa Senators. McEachern shoots, he scores! The Senators have been all over the Kings here in the first period in the Kings zone, and it pays off again. Former King Sean McEachern makes it 2-0.
And I mentioned it earlier, Bob, the Senators don't back off. They're on you right away. Again, they're not overly physical, but because they're so fast, you don't have a lot of time. Now, this is a second chance after the initial chances by the Ottawa Senators. You see Sean McEachern have so much time to tee this one up. I thought the puck was bouncing. You see it coming across. It's rolling. Yeah, it's bouncing. It's fluttering. And you can see it flutter as it goes over the glove of Steve Passmore. Very difficult for a goaltender to get a track on a puck like that. You don't know if it's going to dip or dive. The one-timer by McEachern. Senators lead it 2-0.
McEachern's 5th in the last 5 games. Here now on the right side, the Kings. Belanger in the slot. He gives it to Glenn Murray, and covered by Lalime as Robitaille was right in front.
Well, the Kings come right back, at least with a little jam at the net. That's one thing they haven't done yet in the first period. Take the puck to the net. Lalime made the save. Another look at that last goal. The Kings have control down on the right boards. The Senators right on top of you. Before you know it, everyone's going to be going to the net. Look at the crashes down low. If you can stop here, watch Kelly Brookberger. He's going to get in position to help out defensively, and he does right there. But the Senators are on top of the puck again. Look at everyone going to positions. The Kings can't clear it out. Right there, it's kept in by the defenseman.
Kings with it. Shot from the right side, deflected up in the air, and going to be taken now by the Senators. It was Robitaille that had the shot. McEachern gets his 15th of the year unassisted goal as the Kings failed to clear it out of their own zone. Here is Robitaille trying to give it to Glenn Murray. Poke checked away from him. Ottawa with a 2-0 lead and 6:30 left to go in the first period. Robitaille. Bouncer at Lalime, and he scoops it up in the glove, and he drops it back for Chris Phillips. Senators get it up on the right side to Shane Knighty. Now a pass over to Radek Bonk. Tipped away from him. Ziggy Palffy tried to get it at center ice. Senators have it, though, and they get it up to Radek Bonk on the right side. Bonk in his 7th year out of the Czech Republic was their #1 pick in '94. Matty Nordstrom. Over now to Rob Blake. Kings down 2-0, trying to get something going offensively here and even defensively back in their own zone against the onslaught attack of the Ottawa Senators. But cleared up on the right side and back to center ice. Senators, Zamener's pass knocked down, and Karl Rakunik with it. He gets it over to Marian Hossa. Throws it down in deep, and Rob Blake back to get it. Senators changing on the fly as Blake moves it up on the right side. Now across the line, left side, here is Reinprecht. Can't get a shot. Reinprecht checked down in the corner by Jamie Rivers. Kings pass to the blue line, held in by Aki Berg. Nice play to Reinprecht. In front, he tried to get it there to LaPerriere, but broken up and back to center ice. Come the Senators. Fisher jumps around a check, gives it to Hossa, and his shot wide, or excuse me, Emmons' shot was wide, and the puck dug out by the Kings, and here's Reinprecht. Back up to center ice, fast pace to this game, first period. Across the line, the Kings get it to Stu Grimson. Grimson can't go in any further. Still a loose puck. Grimson had it for a moment. Then it rolled away. Kings on it again. LaPerriere into Grimson. Grimson checked there by Gagne. And the puck cleared all the way back into the Kings zone. 4:40 left to go in the first period. Pass up to Stu Grimson. Grimson turns, drives it off the boards, not out of the zone, offside as Yashin picked it up, but the Senators offside on the play. They have a 2-0 lead. McEachern made it 2-0 with this goal. We'll be back. Steve Passmore in goal for the Kings tonight. He's faced 8 shots, given up 2 goals, and the Senators have a 2-0 lead here in the first period. Puck comes out of the right side and held in. Here's McEachern with a quick shot and a save by Passmore. What a quick shot by Sean McEachern. He spent the 93-94 season with the Kings. Here's Yashin up the middle. Shot by Phillips. Deflected up high, and he was all alone. Well, the Senators have had on numerous occasions people all alone in the Kings zone. Here on the left side is Corkum. Corkum put it behind the net. And it is Nelson Emerson getting knocked down, and the Senators come out with it. They get it up ahead to Daniel Alfredson. Alfredson flips it in. He's checked there by Nelson Emerson. Senators go for a line change with 3:40 to go in the first period.
Bob, certainly I can't remember a first period this season where the Kings have been outplayed as they have in this period here against the Senators. So far this season, the first period has been a strong point for the Kings, but everywhere on the ice, defensively, offensively, it's all about that decision making. It seems like the Senators, as soon as they get the puck, someone is ready to receive the pass. They're ready to go the other way. The Kings, they seem to be in between.
27 times this year, the Kings have scored the first goal of a game. 18 times, including tonight, the opponents have. So the Kings have had good first period. Puck fired by Schneider. Back at one point, the Kings, not too long ago last week, shot by Schneider, knocked down, led all teams in the NHL with goals in the first period. They're back on their heels tonight, without doubt. Right in front of Passmore, the Kings, Wisnowski had the puck roll off his stick, then his pass knocked down. Held in by the Senators, but taken away by the Kings, and they get it up ahead to Belanger. Here is Belanger, across the line. His shot and a stick saved by Lalime. Rebound to Robitaille. Luke put it behind the net. Phillips knocked it down. Robitaille comes by to kick it free, and now back to Robitaille. Glenn Murray couldn't get his stick on it, and the puck cleared up ahead to center ice. Senators with it again. Left side, Crossbow shoots, save, and the rebound. Held in by the Senators. A pass broken up, and the Kings again give it away. Right side, down into the corner, picked up again, held in now by Havlet. Walks in front, Havlet shoots, blocked in front as he walked right in front of the King net, and it was blocked by Berg, and finally the Kings clear it. Right now the Kings are thinking, get this period over with. Here is Crossbow, left side, shot by Alfredson is wide to the right. And back up to center ice, chased by Reinprecht. Tipped away from him. Here's Daniel Alfredson. Alfredson right side, hangs on, shoots wide to the left, rebound to Yashin. Yashin checked in the corner, and Reinprecht gets it to Rob Blake. He overskated it, sent back down into the King zone, and Yashin down in the corner. To Nordstrom, his pass taken away by Alfredson. Matty Nordstrom fights for it again, gets it out toward the right point, and it is tipped out to center ice by Ziggy Palffy. Palffy picks it up for the Kings. Palffy's pass right side to Rob Blake. He dropped it back, pass in, or shot in front, and a save as Actually looked like it was going to be a pass, but came right through the goaltender. And hanging on there was Lalime.
And a hard hit by Jamie Rivers on Ian LaPerriere. So the Kings, again, maybe only the second time in this period, getting penetration to the front of the net. We'll see a penalty on this play, I believe, against Rivers. Carl's Jr. leaderboard shows us that two Los Angeles Kings were named to the All-Star team today. Luc Robitaille will make his 8th appearance and Rob Blake his 4th. Congratulations to both of those guys. And I kind of saw Luc before the game. He was just sitting on the bench when there was a youth hockey league team playing right there on the ice. And, you know, I went up to him, I congratulated him. You could kind of tell Bob a little bit more important with Robitaille. You know, it's kind of unexpected at this advanced age for Luc Robitaille and the season he's had. He's really turned it around. Of course, I think everyone expects Rob Blake to be there.
And Mario Lemieux was named to the All-Star team, to the North America team. Even though he's just come back, he has made, and I think that's a good choice. Put him in there. He's brought a lot of publicity since his comeback to the NHL, and obviously he's an all-star. Here at the right point, Rob Blake. Kings on the power play. First power play of the night for the Kings. Trying to get back in the game. Blake partially fans on his shot. Now Blake again. Put it back behind the net. Kings second in the league on the power play. Up the middle it goes to Schneider. To Blake. One-timer and a save by Lalime. Less than a minute to go in the first period. Kings down 2-0. What a lift if they can get on the board here before the end of this period. Puck is dug out by Rakunik and sent out to the right side where the Kings hold it in. Robitaille feeds it down into the corner to Palffy. Back to Robitaille. Palffy leads the Kings with 9 power play goals. Robitaille shoots and it's wide. Rebound off the boards. Rob Blake to Schneider. Takes the one-timer. Gives it over on the right side to Robitaille. Robitaille into Ziggy Palffy. Stumples in front. Ziggy's pass intercepted and cleared by Dackel.
The Kings in the umbrella up top with 3 men away from the net, so the centers are just collapsing down low. The Kings had control, but certainly no penetration to a scoring area. The centers clear the zone.
Robitaille sends it in. Only 14 seconds remain in the first period. Puck held in by Schneider. In deep towards Stumple. Stumple back behind the net. Chris Phillips took it away. Palffy gets it back. 6 seconds to go in the period. Pass up the middle. Schneider back over to Palffy. Partially fanned on his shot. Robitaille threw it up the middle, and that's the end of the first period. Kings will have 42 seconds left on the power play when the second period starts, but they're lucky to get out of this period down only 2-0.
And certainly they are, Bob, because the centers dominated at both ends of the ice offensively. It wasn't necessarily about the tempo and speed of the skating. It's how quickly the centers made their decisions. They knew exactly where they were going with the puck before they got the puck, and the Kings seemed to be back on their heels. On the other point, Bob, I don't think the Kings are out of it because I think they're going to go back and realize they really didn't throw anything at the Ottawa centers.
Right.
So if they can turn that around, perhaps they get back in the game.
Second period underway, and the Kings on the power play, but they lose it outside the zone into center ice. Now pick it up again. Right side, Ziggy Palffy shoots, and a save by Lalime. Ziggy Palffy with a chance on the power play. Robitaille digs it out to Stumple. Stumple along the right wing boards. Tried to get it back to the blue line, but it's cleared out to center ice, and the Senators back at full strength. Here's Stumple across the line into the Ottawa zone. He drops it off to Schneider, and a save by Lalime. And Lalime covers it up on the side of the net. Quick shot by Schneider from a sharp angle.
And that one comes when both teams back at full strength. Earlier, Ziggy Palffy had a chance with the Kings on the power play. Although it wasn't a regular power play chance, it comes on a turnover right there. Palffy knocks it ahead. Now watch the goaltender, Lalime. He just stays there. That's stand-up goaltending at his best, I guess. Certainly Ziggy Palffy's a tricky player, and he wants to see if he can find any weakness whatsoever in the goaltender as he looks at him. Lalime didn't get everything to look at. He just stood there. The big pads made the stop.
Now a shot from the left side is wide to the right as Matty Nordstrom stepped into that one, and the Senators digging out. Palffy is now tied for 7th in the NHL in scoring, along with Luc Robitaille. They each have 50 points. Bucky is in deep, and a penalty coming up here as the Kings dig it out. It's a penalty against the Ottawa Senators. Delayed call. Kings bring it up to center. Carlotti throws it across the ice, and Ottawa takes it away. And the Kings will have a power play right back with a man advantage here in the second period.
So, you know, you can have your next company outing or family event at a Kings game. There are great group discounts and block seating is available. Call the group sales department at 1-888-KINGS-LA for more information. Bring your group out to Staples Center for a Kings game.
Daniel Alfredson will be going to the box for holding. He's arguing it right now. There's a little do-si-do. You see him grab on right there with the arm of Matty Nordstrom. But at this point, that was the call on the play, I believe. Yes, because you see the centers, Matty comes back with a hold of his own. So that's why Alfredson, I think, was arguing. Two Swedish-born players going at it in the corner. That's the type of penalty, obviously, when you're holding the lead, you don't want to take. The puck, from the Ottawa Center standpoint, is 200 feet from the Kings' goal. So an offensive zone hold against Alfredson. The Kings with another chance on the power play.
And off the draw, the puck taken by the Senators and cleared all the way back into the Kings' zone. Rob Blake back. Ziggy Palffy is out. Now, he was at the right point on the faceoff. See what happens here as Blake brings it up, and his pass tipped away back into the Kings zone by Mike Fisher.
We'll see if the Kings change it up on the power play. That first period, the last one we just saw, a little content, I think, to keep the puck on the outside and shoot from far out. We'll see if the Kings try to crash the front, and they have this advantage on it.
Palffy across the line. Rob Blake right side shoots, and a save by Lalime, and he covers it up. Patrick Lalime. What a year he's having. Tied for 5th in goals against average, 1.98.
Bob, another example of a goaltender that has economical movement. We see that more and more nowadays. Palffy penetrates, drops the puck. Now watch Rob Blake. He has time to raise his head, try to find the spot. There's a butterfly right there by Lalime. Another look at it coming at the goaltender. You'll see Rob Blake kind of pick up the pass from Robitaille, and Lalime follows it perfectly. He knows in that situation, all he has to do is play the odds. If he has the angle covered, he's going to make the stop, so there's no need for that one extra move. And again, I think you can tell there by the equipment of Patrick Lalime, the big pads, he covers a lot of room.
He's 6'2", 170. We'll have more on his story when we get a chance. The Mighty Ducks had him and traded him. Pittsburgh had him, and they traded him after a contract dispute. He was unbeaten in his first 16 games in the NHL, 14 wins and 2 ties. Here's Ziggy Palffy. Palffy right side, throws it down in deep to Robitaille. Back to Palffy, up the middle to Schneider. Back to Palffy, one-timer and a save by Lalime.
And Bob, the Kings do go with a little bit more of a presence here on the front, at least in the front of the net, with Josef Stumpel trying to screen the goaltender. But just as the shot is coming through, Stumpel did the right thing. He moves out of the way. Here's Stumpel right here in the middle. He's just trying to set up a screen. There's pass will come back and forth. Again, Stumpel's in front, trying to make sure the goaltender can't see it. Now with the shot coming, you see him move out of the way. He tries to get open for a rebound. Lalime, though, does the job. Takes it in the upper body. No rebound, no second chance.
Kings down 2-0. They've still got a minute 13 on the power play, and Rob Blake can't hold in the bouncing puck. Here's a race for it as Passmore gets over. He's out of the net. Puck taken away by Andreas Dackel. Passmore gets back in front of the net. Dackel with it in the right wing corner, checked by Schneider. Schneider digs it out. Kings Robitaille tips it to the blue line to Rob Blake. Blake fires it deep into the Ottawa zone. Kings trying to get right back in the game with a power play goal. And Wade Redden's pass knocked down behind the net by Robitaille. Here's Rob Blake. Blake up the middle to Schneider. Schneider shoots. Knocked down in front into the corner. Stumpel goes for it. It comes back to Blake at the right point. Blake held it in. He got it to Ziggy Palffy. Now to Robitaille, and he fanned on it, hopped over his stick and back out to center ice. 30 seconds left to go in the King power play, and Schneider back to get it. 3 minutes gone by here in the second period. Kings down 2-0. Matthew Schneider throws it deep right side. Smolinski with a shot and a save made. It was deflected and a save. It looked like it was going wide. Here is Blake back to the right side to Palffy. Palffy back toward the right point. Hangs on. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Palffy's pass over to Robitaille. Tipped up and out of play into the crowd.
Well, the Kings getting some chances at least. Looks like they're not going to get a goal. Only 6 seconds already. Yeah, the faceoff will be outside. But at least they may have a chance here to change the momentum of the game. The Kings have had possession deep in the zone, moving around many times. That last chance was created by a dump in. See, Schneider dumps in off the far boards. Watch the deflection. Smolinski gets the shot. It goes off the stick of the defender, Wade Redden. That made it difficult for the goaltender. But there was some control, and I know that might be a silver lining point of view, but certainly the Kings were outplayed in the first period. Here to start the second, a couple of power plays to get things going. They did have some chances.
Senators are back at full strength. Puck thrown and tipped into the corner by Lalime. Chasing it down the right side is Reinprecht. Chris Phillips steps in front of him and gets it over on the far side, and Shane Knighty gave it back, and up the left side, here's Riley Funk. Funk to Daniel Alfredson. Alfredson across the line, buys some time, hangs on. Penalty against the Kings. Delay call. Alfredson's pass right side, and Bonk took a swipe at it, and the whistle blows. Interference is the call against the Kings, and Ottawa with a 2-0 lead goes on the power play.
Yeah, interference against Bryan Smolinski. The Ottawa Senators, Bob, they jumped up for the defenseman on that last rush. It was Knighty who just jumped up into the play. And Andy Murray will be faced with a penalty kill. I believe the first power play against the Kings so far tonight. Right. Smolinski trying to get back into position to help out. A little too aggressive. The other player doesn't have the puck. He cannot make contact for any length of time. Interference to call. So the Kings have had 2 power plays in a row. Now it's time for the Senators.
Face off in the Kings zone to the left of Steve Passmore. Senators, not a great power play team. The Kings take it and clear it all the way back down into the Ottawa zone. Senators 15.1. That's 19th in the league. Kings penalty killing, nothing to write home about. 22nd in the NHL, 81.6. Kings took it away for a moment, and here they get it again. Pass by Nelson Emerson over to Bookberger, and he chased it back to center ice, taken away by McEachern. He's got a man in front. Shot, score! Alfredson! Well, the Kings lost it again, and Daniel Alfredson makes it 3-0.
And Bob, it's not only that the Kings lose it, it's how quickly the Ottawa Senators pick it up and attack. Again, they're just looking to gain territory before they think about the stick-to-stick pass. This ends up being a beautiful play offensively. Alfredson with a finish off. There's the strip by McEachern, and all of a sudden, he takes one stride and the pass. And you see the couple of stick handles right there at the end. Alfredson was controlling the momentum of the goaltender. The Senators at the power play, and Kelly Buchberger was looking to buy some time by taking the puck back towards his own goal. Well, after the strip of the puck, there was only one move to make. Watch McEachern. You have to assume Alfredson yelled because McEachern didn't really even look. And again, the move back and forth. Passmore was going one way, the puck the other. Senators lead it 3-0.
Alfredson gets his 9th of the year. McEachern with the only assist at .413. And back up to center ice. Kings, of course, back at full strength, but now trail 3-0. Rob Blake checked down and deep by Andreas Dackel. And the puck cleared up ahead to Belanger. Belanger takes a swipe at it. Knocked away from him and picked up by the Senators at the blue line, and they get it back on the right side across the line. Havlet shoots and a save. Havlet again couldn't hang on. Kings take it away and finally clear it out the center as Belanger got it in the neutral zone. Picked up there by Sean Gagnon, and he throws it back down behind the net. 5 minutes gone by in the second period. Things don't look any brighter for the Kings, down 3-0. Puck poked down in deep behind the net where Wade Phillips goes after it. 4 goals in the last 6 for Wade Phillips at the left point, held in by Aki Berg. Berg throws it around on the right side to LaPerriere. LaPerriere's pass down in the corner, taken away, cleared off LaPerriere up to center ice. A race for it there, and getting over was Aki Berg. Now here's Smolinski. Smolinski on the right side, and Reinprecht taken out of the play. So now we've got Reinprecht with Smolinski and Murray up front for the Kings.
Many times, Bob, you have to change the line combinations after power plays or penalty kills. But I also think at this point, Andy Murray's just looking for anything to get something stirred, change around, get guys thinking out there what they're doing on the ice, because the Senators all over the Kings.
Knocked away at center ice, but picked up by Smolinski into the zone. Shoots. Blocked into the left wing side by Shane Knighty, and then cleared back to the King line. Picked up now by Karalahti. He slaps it into the Ottawa zone. Comes around to Robitaille. Robitaille's pass intercepted for a moment, but knocked down by Stumple to Robitaille. Shot by Palffy and a stick save by Lalime. And it goes up into the crowd as Patrick Lalime comes up big again, this time on Ziggy Palffy. There's Kings assistant coach Mark Hardy, and he wishes his wife Chrissy a happy birthday today.
25 years old.
Well, he wouldn't tell me how old she was. She'll go for that, I think. Puck is along the boards and tipped down in the corner of the Ottawa zone. Kings Robitaille trying to get to it. Now Radek Bonk fights his way along the boards, gives it to Marian Hossa. Kings hold it in again. 3-0 in favor of the Ottawa Senators, and
Penalty coming up to Luc Robitaille, Bob. Luc was involved in the attack, and Looked to me like it was just a good hard hit, but perhaps something came up, an elbow or stick. I think Robitaille's going to the box.
And the whistle will blow now as Palffy takes control of it, and the Senators with a 3-0 lead have another power play now as Robitaille heads to the penalty box.
Yeah, charge is the call, so that's what the referee picked up. I couldn't see an elbow or a stick.
So the Ottawa Senators go on the man advantage with Luc Robitaille in for charging at 6:46. Marian Hossa leads them in power play goals with 6. Puck fired down back behind the net. Lalline couldn't cut it off. It comes around on the right side now, and Karl Rakunik, rookie, moves it up to the blue line, then to center ice, taken away there by Nordstrom. Off of Daniel Alfredsson. Alfredsson had the last goal on the power play. He chased it down, but a whistle on an offside called here.
Delayed offside right there. The Senators could not advance the puck over the blue line once again, so the referee, actually the linesman in that case, blows it down. Andy Murray pacing back and forth. He talked about the Senators before the game being a very quick team, being a team that's not going to be overly physical, but at the same time, they're going to take away your time to make decisions, and that has been the case. 3-0 lead, and the Senators on the power play.
Senators with 54 points on the year. They have the lead in the Eastern Division. They're 1 point ahead of New Jersey. The Devils with 53. Puck fired by Alexei Yashin. Around on the right side. Held in there by McEachern. McEachern's got 2 points of the game, goal and an assist. McEachern's pass into Daniel Alfredsson. Alfredsson pushed hard from behind, and a penalty to Rob Blake coming up. Here is Redden shooting and a save, and the Kings are going to be 2 men short. Rob Blake going to go for cross-checking.
Yeah, that'll be the call against Blake. He was very aggressive on Alfredsson down low. Alfredsson just trying to rotate and keep the puck alive. So the Kings will be 2 men short. Maybe a little frustration showing through right here with Rob Blake. Follows once. As an ex-Wimp player myself, I find it difficult what was wrong with that play. I know there was contact with the stick on the back, but there wasn't a jerking motion of the arms. It was more of a contact than push off. And with Alfredsson doing what he was doing, and it was a good job protecting the puck, getting his body between Blake and the puck, what does Rob Blake else have to do? You've got to get to the puck somehow. Again, the stick was extended a little bit, not much contact. I don't think the referee cares about my opinion. The Senators up by 2 men.
Kings 2 men short for a minute 8. They are 6 out of 15 on a 2-man disadvantage this year. They've allowed 6 in 15 times when they were 2 men short. Here is Wade Redden down to Daniel Alfredsson. Alfredsson hangs on to it. Still has it, looking for someone in front, tried to feed it through, but Nordstrom blocked it for the second time. Alfredsson again, up the middle it goes to Wade Redden. Redden to the right side, fanned on his pass, now gets it to Yashin, score! Up over the shoulder of Passmore with Alfredsson standing in right near the King goaltender, and it's now 4-0 Ottawa.
It looked like it hit something, Bob. Maybe the only thing it hit was Steve Passmore. You're exactly right. Alfredsson, who earlier on the shift was creating all kinds of trouble down low, trying to make passes, finally got it out deep. Redden will take a look. You saw Yashin right there moving underneath the screen. Redden actually fanned on it. Then it's the one-timer. Because there's traffic, Alfredsson was there, Matty Nordstrom was there. It's difficult. We're going to isolate the goaltender. Great look, guys, right here. You can see it's more Matty Nordstrom that prevents this goaltender from seeing the puck. It goes underneath the arm of Steve Passmore. Passmore's trying to move across. He's trying to find the puck at the same time. He could do neither. The screen was there. Senators lead it 4-0.
Yashin gets his 16th of the year and his 8th in the last 13 games. He's turned the boos into cheers here lately, although he said, I'm not asking for forgiveness from the fans. They still have the 1-man advantage for a minute 6. Pass up the middle. McEachern shot it wide. McEachern again with a chance. Knocked wide. Kings intercept and get it up ahead now to Glenn Murray. Murray gets it to Reinprecht, and Reinprecht throws it in deep. Goes after his own pass. Back behind the net. He's checked, and Glenn Murray digs it out to the blue line to Aki Berg. He shoots, save, rebound, just hopped over the stick of the Kings, Glenn Murray. Back to center come the Senators with a power play. Vinny Prospel right side, and they go offside at the King blue line.
Now the Kings with a pretty good chance, Bob, other than the bounce of the puck. Glenn Murray was in position. Yashin gets the goal, and that leads us to the Pac Bell Fast Fact. He's the Center's all-time leader, goals, assists, and points, despite missing back in 95-96 and all of last year with contract disputes. And last year, Bob, it was because he did not like the situation with his contract. Obviously, he did have a valid contract, and that what we would call a holdout, because he should have been playing on the ice. There was also a dispute that had to be arbitrated by Gary Bettman at the league office, whether he had to play another year before he became a restricted free agent. That's what the NHL ruled, so he will not be a restricted free agent until the end of this year. There was also court cases by Ottawa Senators fans and things going back and forth. The team, the league, everyone was suing him. Everything's been dropped. He's out there to play on the ice right now.
Now here is Marian Hossa, still on the power play for 15 seconds. Into the corner. Chased there by Matty Nordstrom. Nordstrom digs it out. Can't clear. Held into the right point. Belanger with a nice play. Clears it out to center. Well, it was absolutely the right decision against Yashin. Contract is two ways. He signed to play a contract for a number of years. No one says they have to renegotiate it. Pass in front, and it hopped over the stick there of Radek Bonk and back out to center ice. Kings are back at full strength. Here across the line, Palpy to Stumple. Stumple shoots, save Lalime. Well, when the Kings have had chances, and most of them here in the second period, Lalime has been there. Kings are back at full strength. There's a shot wide to the left side and cleared out to center as it came off the boards. A shot by Shane Knighty, a 25-year-old rookie. Knighty with it again. H-N-I-D-Y. Knighty, not the type of Knighty you're thinking of. Here is an offside called against the Ottawa Senators.
As you said earlier, Bob, it might be nighty-night the way it's gone so far for the Kings. Yashin with the last one on the power play. Another look at Yashin, Bob. To clarify his situation, the fight with the NHL, Yashin missed all of last year. He wanted that to count as a year played under his contract so he could immediately jump to be a restricted free agent. The NHL, and I agree with the ruling, like you just mentioned, if you don't play the year, it doesn't count on your contract. So they ruled he had to play the year. He didn't like it. He didn't like the announcement, but he decided, hey, he had nothing else left to do. He went through all the avenues, and that's why he's back in the lineup. And if anything, Bob, I think Yashin needs maybe a PR agent, because the way he's handled it, his reactions, his comments, I think that's hurt the NHL and this team more than anything else.
I'll do it. What do they get? 10% out of 3.6 million?
There you go.
I volunteer. Puck taken by the Kings. Palpy is passed up the middle, went behind Robitaille, and back comes Sean McEachern. Across the line, McEachern's pass up the middle, shot just wide to the left by Alfredson. Alfredson with it again. Shoots, stick save by Passmore, and the puck taken by Rob Blake. Blake pokes it up to center, taken away there by Chris Phillips. Intercepted by Rob Blake. 8:45 to go in the second period. The Kings have yet to get on the board, and they are down 4-0. Held in by Smolinski, left side, his pass to the middle, shot by Glenn Murray and a save. Murray again into the corner, up the middle, shot by Wisnowski, save, scored! Smolinski on the rebound. Bryan Smolinski puts the Kings on the board, but they now trail 4-1.
And Bob, for the first time in the game, the Senators get caught. I don't know if it was a bad change, but there was a huge separation between their defense and their forwards, and there was no one back to help out. The Kings made a change and jumped players onto the ice. And what they did there, put the puck on the net, crash for rebounds. Smolinski actually ended up, I think, with a second rebound on the play. There's the first one going wide. Glenn Murray jumps on it. You saw Glenn Murray right there. He looked over his shoulder before he got to the puck. Here's the second shot, deflection, rebound, and right there, Bryan Smolinski high into the top. Kings get on the board.
Glenn Murray should get one assist on it. The puck cleared back up to center and poked away by Matthew Schneider. Taken now by Knighty. Scores from just inside the blue line. And the Senators get that one back on a long shot. It is now 5-1.
I believe Jamie Storr is coming into the game, Bob. It looks like Storr's behind the Kings bench. He's getting his mask on, yes, so Storr will be coming into the game. Now he takes the long shot just after the Kings score and get a little bit of a feel. Goalies will tell you, when the shot comes from this far out, even if there's a deflection or a screen, goalies feel that there should be time to react. Schneider was in position as the Kings defenseman. Great look coming at you right here. Watch now, he looks up. Schneider will get a stick. No, it clears the stick. It just as cleanly beats Steve Passmore in the Kings goal. So it's a long shot. First goal of the NHL career for Knighty, and he pulls the trigger. You see the Kings in pretty good position defensively. The first what I would call a real bad goal in tonight's game, although the Senators only have 15 shots, they have 5 goals. That one certainly kills you. Passmore takes a seat on the bench. Jamie Storr comes in. As it was, I think it was expected, Jamie Storr was going to start tomorrow in Toronto. That was kind of a normal part of the rotation that was scheduled by the Kings coaching staff and the goaltenders. Little change right here. Storr comes in. Passmore to the bench.
Shane Knighty with his first right after the Kings had gotten on the board. Smolinski with his 13th of the year. That came at 11:29. And off the draw here. Puck taken by the Kings back in their own zone. They're just announcing Smolinski's goal right now. Wisnotski gets an assist. Now the puck in the right wing corner of the Ottawa zone, but dug out there by Gagnon. Moves it up ahead to center ice. Here's Martin Hamlet trying to jump around and check, and he got knocked down. And fans wanted a penalty there for the Kings. Clear it back into the Ottawa zone. Wisnotski getting the only assist on that King goal, but Glenn Murray, it looked like to me, put it up the middle of Wisnotski. But anyway, Wisnotski with the assist. Puck comes back down into the corner and played there by Stu Grimson. 7:22 left to go in the second period. And the Senators with a 5-1 lead over the Kings. Carlotti sends it across the line, gets it again. Holds it in the zone. Puck taken away. Wade Redden back to center ice. Knighty from Daco and Hamlet at 11:48. Right point held in by the Senators and taken away by Schneider. Schneider over to Carlotti. Carlotti's pass comes up to center ice. Picked up by the Kings. LaPerriere. LaPerriere gets it on the right side. Pins Belanger, shoots and a save. Rebound comes over to Nelson Emerson. To LaPerriere. LaPerriere, check from behind, still fights, gets it to Wisnotski with a shot and a save and a rebound. Comes back on the right side. Picked up there by Belanger again. Belanger gave it to Nelson Emerson. Now to LaPerriere. To Belanger. Belanger behind the net, tried to spin away, but it's taken away by John Emmons. Not cleared. Kings hold it in again. Over to LaPerriere, right side. He gives it there to Belanger. Belanger's pass up the middle and out to center ice. Wisnotski couldn't get there in time to hold it in. Kings again across the line. Right side to LaPerriere. Up the middle. Here's Schneider. Shoots. Score! Matthew Schneider. And it's now 5-2 in favor of Ottawa.
It's certainly a change in the tempo of the game from the standpoint of how wide open it is right now. The Kings want it that way, and the Senators would not. The Kings have now been driving to the net. That's a big change here in the last 5 minutes or so. Schneider will get the goal jumping in. I think it was Ian LaPerriere, the Kings, who did a good job to staffing up. Belanger makes the pass. Watch LaPerriere stop, and then he quickly, with a hard pass, comes right to the middle. Now, there is a King position over to the right there. It's Nelson Emerson. So that allowed Schneider to kind of look up, delay. It's a 2-on-1 down low. The goaltender just caught moving just a touch. 7-hole just underneath the arm. Kings, Schneider in their second goal of the game.
Well, the last time the Kings scored, it took Ottawa only 19 seconds to get that one back. That was on the goal by Knighty. Smolinski had scored at 11:29, Knighty at 11:48, and now Schneider scores for the Kings. Kings trail 5-2. Matthew Schneider gets his 12th of the year. LaPerriere and Belanger with the assist at 13:58. And the puck back up to center ice to Ziggy Palffy. Palffy, right side, throws it back behind the net for Robitaille. Robitaille, Palffy, and Stumple up front for the Kings. Pass out to left point to Schneider. Schneider holds it in, gets it to Robitaille. Here's Luke. He gives it now to Palffy. Got his stick on it, but couldn't direct it toward the net, and it comes off Zaminer's stick back out to center ice. 5:13 to go here in the second period. Bob Miller along with Jim Fox. And we get an offside here, and the Kings down 5-2. in Toronto, and it'll come your way live at 4:30. Kings and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, some more changes up front. You mentioned Robitaille was Stumple and Palffy here. Bryan Smolinski's on left wing, but Ryan Precht and Glenn Murray out there, so a lot of things changing.
In deep, pass in front by Ryan Precht, and Smolinski just couldn't get his stick on it. Comes into the corner. Ryan Precht with it again to Smolinski. His pass in front comes through on the right side to Ryan Precht. Ryan Precht to Smolinski, scores! Nice play by Ryan Precht. Threw it right in front to Smolinski on the side of the net. And now the Kings trail 5-3.
Well, Bob, that goaltender change many times gets the attention of players. It seems to have worked here with the Kings. Smolinski with his second of the night. The feet were jumping for Steve Reinprecht. Look at him jump on this loose puck. Turns, fires, all in one motion, gets his head up, and that pass is flipped perfectly right on the stick of Bryan Smolinski. So it ends up being a pretty goal, but Bob, I think the most important part, you see the goaltender react right there? He did not know that Bryan Smolinski was off to the side, and the pass was perfect. I think the biggest play was the reaction of Steve Reinprecht to jump on the loose puck, to get there. That gave him time to make the pass. Smolinski was there, and the Kings back in this game.
Smolinski points in 6 of the last 7 games. 2 goals tonight. And the puck taken by Blake. Now you look back and how tough was that long shot that beat Passmore. And yet, who knows, if it doesn't, maybe they don't make the change and maybe momentum doesn't change in the game. But the Kings fighting their way to get back in it. If they get the next one, they are right back in it. 4:25 left to go in the second period. Rob Blake throws it in deep. Here is Emerson behind the net. Drops it off there. Kings with it. Belanger threw it up the middle. Intercepted. Belanger with a good check. LaPerriere with it. Belanger with a check on Jamie Rivers. Here's Belanger. Feeds it left side. Now Nordstrom in deep behind the net. To LaPerriere in front. Save. Loose puck. Still loose. Kings get a whack at it. Glenn Murray. His shot knocked down. Held in by Blake. Shoots. Score! Rob Blake from the blue line, and the Kings are down by 1 at 5-4.
Now he's talking about a change in the game. Now it's all about crash hockey. Crash the front, crash for rebounds. The pretty stuff has gone out the window, and that's what we talked about in the first period, Bob. The Kings were taking time making decisions where to make passes, looking for open men. The last 5 minutes has been about get the puck to the front, jump on loose pucks, and crash. And now they're back in the game. Look at this scrum. 4 players stay down low, including Matty Nordstrom. Only number 4, Rob Blake, is back. The puck ends up back at the point. And look at the goaltender, Lalime. He's still trying to get back. He can't even get back to his feet. And it looks like the Ottawa Senators are calling a timeout right here. Keep an eye on the goaltender in the slot right. Look at the goaltender. He's down. His stick is down. Every skater on the ice except Rob Blake was in the middle of a slot. And you certainly understand what the Kings are trying to do. Look at the goaltender from behind the net. He's just getting up back. He can't get to his feet. He's back on his knees, but by that time it's too late with all the bodies in front. Certainly Lalime can't find that puck. So the huge turnaround for the LA Kings. They're a high-scoring team, Bob, but here in the last 5 minutes, the Kings have done it all. We're jumping on loose pucks and crashing the front of the net.
They give it to Blake. They don't give it to him. He got 15th of the year, unassisted at 16:10. So the Kings got 2 goals in 58 seconds. Smolinski at 15:12, Blake at 16:10, and we have had an offensive explosion here, which started at 11:29 of the second period with the first goal by Smolinski.
And Lee makes his way back to the net. You talk about timing of calling a timeout, Bob. Certainly you can see what Jacques Martin is trying to do with the Ottawa Senators. The Kings have come on. I don't know how, it's been a while since the puck has been deep in the Kings zone. We'll see what happens here. I'm sure the Senators will try to simplify their game plan and get it deep as much as possible. Kings just want the puck at the net.
Now the Senators throw it in the Kings zone, taken away there. And the puck back in the neutral zone, taken there and across the line. Hossa, but he gets stopped. Puck comes right side in front. Hossa trying to tip it in. Taken left side now by Radek Bonk. Bonk's pass knocked down for a moment by Stumple. Bonk again. Cut off by Vishnowsky. Stumple behind the net. Radek Bonk hanging on, and his pass in front, tipped by Zamaner, and a save by Jamie Storr. Zaminer knocked down into the corner by Schneider. Fans wanted the penalty. Here's Radek Bonk. Shoots. Deflected wide to the left. 3 minutes left to go in the second period, and the Kings trying to tie it before the end of the period, but first trying to get out of trouble here in their own zone. Schneider in deep with Crossbow right behind him. Nice play by Matthew, and it's cleared to center. Kings with it. Across the line. Robitaille, right side. Got knocked down as he tried to cut into the slot, and the puck cleared back out to center.
Well, I think that was more Luc Robitaille losing an edge than the defenseman getting a stick on him. Luc tried the quick move. Didn't work. We'll see what happens here. The Kings get the puck in deep again.
Now the left wing corner. Put back behind the net. Trying to do some math, which I'm not great at anyway while I'm doing the play-by-play. I get about 5 goals in 4 minutes and 41 seconds of the second period.
And both teams involved, right?
Right.
Exactly.
5-4 in favor of Ottawa, but at one time the Kings were down 5-1. Puck sent across the line. Vinny Prospel, right side. Prospel shoots from a sharp angle. No opening there. Prospel again. Feeds it back to the blue line. Right side. A shot wide by Knighty, and covering it behind the net is Jamie Storr. 1:56 to go in the second.
There's a goaltender thinking, Bob. He knows the Senators have come back with a couple of strong shifts in a row, so anytime you get a chance to go and jump on the loose puck, you get a chance to slow the game down.
Now the Senators still with it. Shot from the blue line, deflected wide. The shot by Jamie Rivers. Daniel Alfredson has it. Alfredson check, gets it to McEachern. He tried to put it behind the net to Yashin. See, the Kings can tighten up defensively. Now they're right back in this game. Here's Belanger. His pass taken away by Alfredson. He shoots. Saved by Storr, and he covers up. And he hangs on with 1:32 to go. Now the Kings trying to get out of this period without giving up another goal. Maybe get one themselves to equal it up. Face off in the King zone. Taken by Ottawa. Down in deep. Rakunik drops it off. Pass back up the middle. Shot by Zaminer. Deflected, and Zaminer knocked it down. Held it in. Now the right point, Radek Bonk. He put it back behind the net. Blake checks Zaminer, who never got near the puck, and the fans were looking for a whistle there, but cleared out to center ice. Fired right back in. 1:06 left to go in the second period, and the Kings have fought their way back into this game. It almost looked hopeless at 5-1. Less than a minute to go, second period. Here's Rob Blake cutting in. His shot hit the side of the net. Picked up on the right side by Ziggy Palffy. Palffy fanned on his pass. He's taken into the boards. Now the Kings have it again. Wrap around Robitaille.
Yes!
Score! Robitaille on the rebound. Laline says the whistle should have gone, but Robitaille stayed with it. He put it in. If it counts, the game is tied at 5, but now I didn't see a washout signal.
You're exactly right, Bob. What you saw was the referee behind the net pointing into the net. If the whistle doesn't go, then the puck is alive. And you saw Luc Robitaille, his eyes lit up. And that's why Patrick Laline is so upset. He thought he had the puck covered, but Laline did not. Robitaille, many times you'll go into a scrum not knowing where the puck is, but it looked like from the body language of Luc Robitaille, he knew the puck was free. Robitaille tries to jam. No, it doesn't look free right there. He does shoot right through. You can agree with the argument of the goaltender right there. And look at Laline. He just goes nuts. Now, don't take anything away from Luc Robitaille. His job is to keep going until he hears the whistle. And there's the body language of the goalie. But the puck was, in fairness to Laline, directly under his pad. Now, this is not a reviewable situation. You can't use video. Nothing like that applies right here. It's all about when the referee blew the whistle. He did not blow the whistle. Robitaille just kept going. Now, remember in the first intermission we talked about a speed game and the Kings trying to change it into a physical game? I felt the Senators wouldn't do that. Well, the Kings have kept putting the puck at the net, and they've changed this game into smash. Just go in, muck it out, crash the front, all those types of things, because the Senators, as quick as they are, they're not a very strong physical team. And the Kings tie it up 5-5.
5-5. The Kings with 4 unanswered goals. Here is Yashin, though, right side, 90. He throws it in deep. Robitaille tying Mike Bossy, as you saw on the graphic, for 13th all-time in goal scoring with his 573rd. Kings again. Smolinski across the line, right side. Reinprecht to Smolinski in front, but broken up. Robitaille gets his 20th of the year from Rob Blake and Ziggy Palffy at 19:15. 9 seconds left to go in the second period. Long shot at Score. He gloves it. And that is going to be the end of the second period. What a great comeback by the Kings. They were dead in the water at 5-1. They were down and scored 4 unanswered goals.
Well, they've changed the game from a long ball passing type of game to a ground game. Grind it out. And that certainly fits with the Kings. Another look at that last goal from behind the goaltender, Bob. And again, you'll see the first wraparound by Luc Robitaille. Luke tries it. Now watch the goaltender. He's looking behind him, but at no time do you see the puck anywhere there. It's covered. Perhaps it's it's Robitaille just going and digging it out. That's what happened on that play. But again, credit Luc Robitaille. You can understand why the goaltender was upset, but because of the change in the style of the game, the Kings right back in it. It's tied 5-5 after 2 periods.
We told you it was going to get better. The Kings came alive in that second period, and now it's a just run and shoot and score goals type of game. But in that first period, Passmore was getting very little help. The Kings were lucky that at the end of the first period, they weren't down about 5-0. And Jim, at that point, though, on the telecast, you said, I think the Kings are still in it because they've thrown nothing at Lalime. They didn't even test him.
Yeah, it's one of those periods, and you see it all the time. When you have such a dominating period, you have to be up more than 1 or 2 goals, and it happened to be a 2-0 lead after 1 period. But looking at it from a Kings perspective, a big reason for that was the Kings just did not have anything going. We talked about it earlier, that maybe their worst period of the whole season. And it was unusual because the Kings were known as a team that scored first, had quick starts. Did not happen that night. They had to turn around in the second.
Now, a little indication of things to come in that second period. The Kings came out and started getting some chances. Palffy had a chance. Schneider had a chance. Blake had a chance. And all of a sudden you could see, well, maybe they're getting back on their game.
You know, the Ottawa Senators, we talked a lot about them. They're a team that was known as a fast skating team. Another thing that they were known for, positional play. And I'd like to give the Kings a lot of credit because they did not quit in this game. There's no doubt about that. But the game did change as far as style. It opened up. And, of course, when you're trailing, you want the game to open up. Wisniewski, I mentioned him earlier in this telecast where, you know, he had a chance to see him as a rookie defenseman come on. I thought Lubomir made a couple plays in that second period where he really maybe didn't end up with an assist or a goal, but he started some transition play. Ziggy Palffy got his game going. Again, not necessarily winding up on the scoreboard, but at the same time being a big part of changing the flow of the game and the feel of the game. And once the Kings got a feel, the game did open up. And again, when you're trailing, you want it to open up.
Now, the problem might be, while the Kings are opening up and getting chances, they're falling farther behind. They got behind 4-0, score a goal, and 19 seconds later, Ottawa's Shane Knighty scores a goal. And at that point, to me, Jim, on the bench, you think, well, this is one of those nights where we're just not going to, nothing's going to go our way.
And you have to pick it up. You have to find a way. And the Kings did find a way in that game. And maybe when you look through towards the end of that season, the 2000-2001 season, and what happened in the playoffs, which was very positive for the Kings, you have to have heart. And the Kings certainly did show heart in that situation, and they got it going. Again, with a Robitaille goal that was scored to make it 5-5 on the power play, I mentioned Ziggy Palffy. Every loose puck on that power play, it was Palffy that was jumping on it. He ended up getting an assist on the Robitaille goal, but it was more that around the play, how much you wanted it. And I think there's a lot of times when players can feel on the bench when it's a wide open game. And again, when it's a wide open game, the players like Palffy, the players like Robitaille, they want to play because they know it's going to be fun. They're offensive players. They'll have a chance in that game.
We talked so much during the season about the effect that a goaltender change can have. Not so much that the goaltender being pulled was bad, but something that just turned things around for the team, and it worked here.
I think in this situation, it was a double thing because Passmore was not on top of his game. The goal by Knighty came basically just from outside, inside the blue line, so you had to make something happen. And again, from the other standpoint, especially back into the first period, the Kings weren't getting anything going. So 2 reasons a coach changes the goaltender. The goaltender's not on his game, a little bit of that. Your team is not going. You want to kind of embarrass your team by forcing them and making them feel guilty because they're not supporting the goaltender. You had a little bit of that too. You put both of those together, you changed the goaltender, and it seemed to have an effect on how the game went.
And you mentioned at the time, the Kings changed their game into crashing the net, getting to loose pucks.
It was part of that ground game you have to go to at some point. When you have the skating, yes, and I mentioned the offensive players of a Palffy and a Robitaille and a Wisniewski, you get a feel for an open game. You're going to get, but the Kings did start to just take the simple thing and throw it to the front. And the Ottawa Senators, even to this day, although they've made some changes, I remember watching the tape of this game, and I saw, I think, Sean Gagne wearing number 3. He was a defenseman, didn't play a lot of, it was Gagnon. Didn't play a lot in the NHL. But now the number 3 that was wearing it, Zdeno Chara wears that number 3 now, and the size difference is huge. Chara, of course, is 6'9", 265 pounds, the biggest player in the NHL. But Ottawa was not known as a physical team, and that was one knock on their team where you could beat the Ottawa Senators by playing a more physical game. The Kings turned it around. They went to the ground game, get it to the front, and that changed the whole game around.
Well, in that second period, 5 goals by the two teams combined in 4 minutes and 41 seconds. Will the Kings' momentum continue into the third period? We're going to take a break, and then we're going to bring you period number 3.
He's out there again to start this period. He's on the left wing, which has been a change from the start of the season. But he's out there with Ryan Preck and Murray. That was a change made in the second period by Andy Murray. The good players he was talking about, Ryan Preck and Murray pretty good, but I think it was Stumple and Palpy. That was a combination. I think there's a little bit of debate right now whether Bryan Smolinski's a better left winger than he was as a center. Certainly with the Kings, that's been the case.
Well, let's see if the momentum of the Kings continues or if Ottawa gets it back in the third period. We're underway in period number 3. The Kings trailed 5-1 at one point. Taken away, 90 with a shot and a save made by Storr. Kings had it and then lost it at the blue line. Here's Reinprecht, checked by McEachern. Now Alfredson takes it away. Alfredson lost it to Glenn Murray. He gets knocked down. And Rob Blake clears it up the center. Smolinski checked by Shane Knighty, and Knighty sends it back to the line where the King blue line, it's knocked down there by Nordstrom and thrown down into the Ottawa zone. Boy, what a second period. 5 goals in 4 minutes and 41 seconds by the combined teams. And the Kings with 4 unanswered goals to tie it up at 5. Puck is along the boards in the King zone and comes into the corner where Stumple chases it down, and his pass up the middle taken by Ziggy Palpy. Palpy with Robitaille. Palpy gets knocked down but throws it down in deep. Robitaille went for it. Comes left point, shot by Schneider, and a glove save by Lalime. He hangs on to that one.
Bob, certainly the Kings look like they've spotted something with the Senators, because that's the 3rd time tonight they've tried that long breakaway pass to Ziggy Palpy. It didn't connect right there. A reminder, you can vote for the player of the game, www.foxsports.com. The keyword is West, and you have a whole bunch of candidates in tonight's game. I don't think neither goaltender will be involved in that with 10 goals scored so far. There's Palpy with a seat on the bench. So the Kings have tried the long breakaway pass to Ziggy 3 times. It hasn't worked. And I think the one thing, again, we mentioned in the second period, what they did, they took advantage of perhaps one of the weaknesses, and it's an admitted weakness by the Senators, their defense, not too physical.
Here on the left side is Carlotti cutting in. He gives it into LaPerriere, Ottawa zone. LaPerriere leaves it for Belanger. Belanger still has it. His pass to LaPerriere off of his stick, and the Senators bring it back to center. Ottawa allowing 5 goals in the second period, the most they've allowed in a period this season. And the Kings have tied it up. Here on the right wing side is Robitaille, and Jari Carlotti has it for the Kings, gets it up ahead to the blue line. Here's Belanger at center ice, feeds it left side and just out of the reach of Nelson Emerson. Lalime throws it around on the right wing side, and the Senators have in their own zone. Jamie Rivers clears it up on the right side, pass to the King line. Havlat's pass taken by Crossbow. He's hit and knocked down by Reinprecht, who got knocked down but gets up and has the puck. Nice pass on the right side. Kings across the line. Ian deep pass in front, and a save actually on a shot from the right wing by Smolinski. And Lalime covers up, and we get a little shoving in front. Shane Knighty is there.
And Glenn Murray of the Kings is there. It looked like Lalime, Bob, found himself in between on the play. The Senators goaltender didn't know if the shot was coming, to stay, to back up. And the puck, even though he made the stop, looked like it made its way fairly close to the goal line. There's Jacques Martin, the head coach of the Senators. And Bob, I mentioned the Senators admittedly saying they feel the weakness they have is on defense. In the papers this morning and yesterday here in Ottawa, they talked about that, looking for another defenseman, an NHL veteran defenseman, because they feel if they go into the playoffs, certainly they will make the playoffs. They need more depth back there. The Kings took advantage in the second.
Kings scoring the most goals in a period they've scored this year. 5 in that second period. Puck comes around on the left wing side. Previous high was 4 against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Back out to center ice. Taken now by Reinprecht. Throws it back behind the net. Now left point held in. Nordstrom shoots and just deflected wide to the left side of the net. Picked up by Reinprecht. He tried to throw it in front. It came right back to him. Up the middle. Smolinski's pass. He didn't want to get it back to center ice, of course. He tried to get it back to Blake at the right point. Now Blake's pass taken away. Senators back across the line. Drop pass, shot, blocked by Blake, and then knocked away by Storr. The shot from the slot by Mike Fisher, and the Kings clear it back out to center ice. Boy, it is not often, Jim, you see a game turn around like that. The way the Kings turned it around that second period. Here is Wisniewski in deep, and he cleared it back out to center ice.
Well, I think Dave Taylor put it perfectly. Certainly with speed. And the biggest asset for the Ottawa Senators is the speed of their forwards. That was taken away in a second because maybe their biggest weakness was the lack of physical play by defensemen. And the Kings, once they decide to start dumping the puck and just crashing the front of the net, that's when the game turned around.
Here is Stumple in the corner of the Kings zone. Ottawa in to try and take it away. Wisniewski is there for the Kings. Stumple and Wisniewski still battling with McEachern, and the Kings come out with it. Schneider's pass deflected, but it came out across the blue line to center ice, and the Senators drive it right back in. They go for a line change. So do the Kings. Wisniewski to Schneider. Schneider tips it, and it comes up out of play into the crowd.
Dave Taylor mentioned, the Kings didn't have their legs in the first period, and many coaches go through that. Andy Murray behind the Kings bench. I was going to mention it because it was a long travel day for the. But on the other side, the Ottawa Senators played 2 nights ago in Edmonton, so their travel has not been a piece of cake either. So both teams kind of came in on even ground, and certainly the first was all Senators, the second all Kings.
Up driven down in the Kings zone. I mentioned on the first goal the Kings scored tonight, the one by Smolinski, that Glenn Murray should have had an assist. Well, they give him one now. Not because of what I said. They looked at the tape.
No. Just listen to the audio.
Because of our statistician, Bruno. He said, hey, Murray gets an assist on that, so they added it. So that's Smolinski from Murray and Wisniewski, the Kings' first goal tonight. Puck comes around the Ottawa zone on the right side of LaPerriere. Down in the corner now to Nelson Emerson. Emerson to the blue line. Blake snapped it in wide to the left. Kings stay after it again. Thrown down in the corner by LaPerriere. Now behind the net. Kings with it. They got a man in front. Belanger, but Nelson Emerson couldn't get it to him. Now Belanger shoots. Knocked down in front by Lalime, and Emerson couldn't get to the rebound. He was being checked by Jamie Rivers.
Well, Bob, you see what the Kings do again. Belanger wasn't looking for a perfect pass. He just puts it right back to the front of the net once again. So the Kings have second and third chances trying to pick up rebounds.
And the right point, Kings. Carlotti shoots, deflected off a skate. Left side held in there by Aki Berg. Berg's pass out of the reach of Glenn Murray and cleared back out to center ice and out of play. And a face-off coming up.
Bob, because of the way the game went in the first period, a lot of changes. There's Steve Reinprecht again. He's out there with Murray and Smolinski. Before the game started, we talked with Andy Murray, and he mentioned he was going to back Steve Reinprecht up all the way down to the energy unit, along with LaPerriere and Grimson. He felt it was just time for Steve to kind of back off, simplify his game, take a look, not have the pressure on him playing with Luke Robitaille and Glenn Murray. But that's been all thrown out the window in the first and the second. A whole bunch of changes, change of line combinations. Reinprecht now out there in an offensive situation.
Kings, of course, the leading scoring team in the NHL right now again with 152 to this point. Puck fired right back in, and the Ottawa Senators back to get it. Clear it up on the left side to Zamaner. Zamaner ahead to Havlet at center ice, and now thrown by Pospel deep into the Kings zone, and Aki Berg, he gets hit, but he got it over to Smolinski. Smolinski backhands it to Reinprecht. Reinprecht moved it along the boards. He gets it back again and clears it up to center ice. Here's Steve Reinprecht, the King rookie, stepped across the line, and the puck taken away. He jumped onto the back of Chris Phillips. Senators, though, moving out to center ice. Pass off on the right side. Havlet trying to move in deep. Chipped away from him. Right point, 90. Shooting, tipped, and there was a kick at the puck. If that had gone in, it would not have counted. Pass left side, held in by Shane 90. Taken down in deep behind the net by Martin Havlet. Up the middle and intercepted by the Kings and cleared by Smolinski to center. I don't think that would have counted, Jim. He definitely made a kicking motion with that shot. Here on the right side is Redden. Redden stopped there as he ran head on. Now the right point. Shot stick save is made by Jamie Storr, who came on in the second period in relief of Passmore. And Ziggy Palpe comes to center. Gets it to Schneider. Shoots, and a save by Lalime. He drops it off now to Alexei Yashin. 13 and a half minutes left to go in the third period. Stumple throws it off the boards, broken up there and cleared all the way down the Kings zone, and the Kings getting back to touch it. Schneider touches up for the icing call against the Senators. 5-5 the score here in the third. We'll be back in a moment. Look at the Kings bench, and a lot happier group than they were back in the first period when the Ottawa Senators had a 2-0 lead. They stretched that out to 4-0 before the Kings scored. Then it was 5-1 Senators. Now it's 5-5. Blake shoots. Saved by Lalime, but a whistle blew, and we've got an interference penalty on the...
Nelson Emerson will get interference, Bob, on the face-off. The Senators were trying to get out. Emerson stepped in the way. Interference the call. Here's Emerson right here. You'll see him step in and make contact with Dackel. Dackel has to change his path, and there's no doubt. You see the referee down right here with the arm up. Interference the call. So the game has been going kind of free-flowing in that second period here into the third. Well, things will change right here. First man advantage in quite a long time.
And the Senators 2 out of 3 on the power play tonight, so the Kings have to come up with better penalty killing here to keep this game tied. Puck taken by Wade Redden. Redden starting out. The power plays tonight, Alfredson and Yashin. Alfredson shoots it in, back behind the King net. Stopped there, slapped hard around the boards, and out of play.
Yep, Rob Blake gets back there. It was set up perfectly. That's one of the little things. You have to have that exchange. Jamie Storr, the Kings goaltender, came out. You don't want to overplay the puck, and Storr, all he did was set it up. Now, the puck doesn't go out of the zone. You'll see Storr back there. He knows Rob Blake is there. Stop, get out of the way. That allows Rob Blake to try to rim it around. Again, it didn't work because it goes into the crowd, but that's been a little bit of a problem this year with the Kings and the goaltending of Jamie Storr. But right there, he did it perfectly. Less is more. Get out of the way.
Off the draw here, Belanger on the draw. The loose puck, who's got it? Sean McEachern for the Senators. Back to McEachern, now to Yashin, now to the blue line. Over right side of Rakunik, and his shot is deflected up out of play again behind the net. And a face-off coming up with 1:20 to go on the King penalties.
Belanger and LaPerriere out there for the Kings doing a pretty good job knowing when to jump on those loose pucks. Eric Belanger is that other centerman that kind of was going to be flip-flopped tonight along with Reinfrecht. Belanger was going to move into the middle between Murray and Luc Robitaille. That was the plan, but again, everything went out the window. Things have changed around, but Belanger finds himself in a familiar situation lately out there on a penalty kill.
Faceoff stays in the King zone. Here's McEachern facing off against Belanger, but maybe not. McEachern's going to be asked to leave.
He tried to tell a linesman how to drop the puck, and that's a no-no, so certainly McEachern kicked out. Yashin comes in. Belanger stays in for the Kings.
And the draw held in by Rakunik. Left side, Redden in front, and Yashin off his stick. And he was alone in the slot. That's been a problem area for the Kings. That high slot tonight, especially back in that first period. Rob Blake cleared it off the boards and back into the Ottawa zone. And we're down to 1 minute left to go in the penalty to Nelson Emerson. 5-5 the score. Here come the Senators with a power play. Daniel Alfredson throws it on the left side, gets it back again. Into the corner. Back to the blue line it goes. Pass on the left side now, and Redden gives it over to Rakunik. Drive down in deep into the corner, Alfredson. He gave it to McEachern. Back over to Yashin. To the blue line to Redden. Gives it to Yashin. McEachern and Alfredson in front of the net. Here's Redden. Back over to Yashin. His pass left side, taken there by Alfredson. Alfredson forced to the blue line, turns and shoots up high over the net. Rebound behind the net. Dug out there, past Alfredson in the middle, taken away and cleared with a good effort. As the puck comes all the way down, and Glenn Murray got knocked down, and he was upset that no penalty was called.
He was looking to go on a counterattack right there on the loose puck. Rakunik just decided to reach out. Looked like there was a hole, no call on the play.
5 seconds left to go in the King penalty. Puck is down in the King zone in deep behind the net. Picked up by Zamaner, but he is checked into the boards by Rob Blake. Kings are back at full strength. Nelson Emerson out of the penalty box. On the left side, Radek Bonk put it down the corner to Hossa. Marian Hossa's pass around on the right side. Sent down in deep, taken by Smolinski. He can't hang on. Picked up by Radek Bonk into Marian Hossa. Hossa checked the ball on the boards and knocked down by Smolinski with some good muscle, and the Kings with a 3-on-2. Here across the line, right side, drop pass back is intercepted as Blake tried to drop it back to Stumple. And the 3-on-2 attack is broken up.
And Bob, the strength there, Bryan Smolinski, that's one thing we've been talking about lately with Smolinski. Yes, the offense, strong defensively.
Kings again, Stumple down the middle, turns, can't get a shot. Neither can Robitaille as it rolls into the corner. And cleared to the blue line. Held there for a moment, but taken away by Andreas Dackel. Dackel back across the line, tied up by Palpy. Dackel looking for the trailer. Gives it left side, cutting in deep in front. A save on Vinny Proskal. Dackel again. Dackel left side over to Proskal in front, and it may have hit the post. And a penalty against the Kings coming up.
Yep.
As Martin Havlick got it in front, I don't know if his shot hit the post and came out or whether Jamie got a piece of it.
I think Jamie may have been coming across, Bob. I think maybe the shoulder. And Schneider doesn't like the call. And if anything, the Kings have an argument, Bob, back a little while ago with Glenn Murray going down. And it was the back referee, Richard Trache. Storr made himself as big as possible. You're right, Bob. It was difficult to tell whether the shot actually tipped Jamie Storr or whether it went over top of the net. You'll see the penalty coming up with Matthew Schneider right in front. Yeah, he decides to reach out, and he does crank back with his arms. That is different than what we saw earlier in the game with Rob Blake, just placing his stick on the player. So that was the tough call. Unfortunately, earlier for the Kings, nothing happening along with Glenn Murray, so another penalty kill situation. Belanger out there to take the draw.
And the puck cleared to the blue line and out to center ice and back into the Ottawa zone over the outstretched arm of Carl Rakunik. I told you earlier that Rob Blake and Luc Robitaille have been selected to play in the All-Star game this year, which will be held in Denver in a couple of weeks. Puck fired back. It'll be on February 4th. Ottawa sets it up on the power play again. Here's Redden. Moves it off on the left side. They got Rakunik down the right wing. He shoots. Score! McEachern tipped it in. And the Ottawa Senators, with another power play, have the lead at 6-5.
And they just decide to keep it simple, throw the puck at the net. Rakunik threw it there with a wrist shot, Bob. I don't know if anyone touched it. Something happened in front there. McEachern was standing off to the side of the net. By his reaction on the play, I don't know if it made it all the way to him. You'll see Rakunik just get it to his forehand. Alfredson may have tipped it. Then maybe off the skate of Rob Blake. Something happened in front, but I don't know if McEachern got it. Bob, that last power play, you were talking about the traffic in front with McEachern and Alfredson. I think that hits the skate of Rob Blake and goes in, but credit to traffic anyway. The Senators will pick up another power play goal. You get traffic to the front. Rakunik made the right play as a young defenseman. You don't have to tee it up and go for the big slap shot. You just have to get it to the front. I think Rakunik may get credit for that goal.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jim. And the Kings down again at 6-5 now. Puck taken on the left side by Matthew Schneider. Up ahead to Luc Robitaille. Robitaille throws it back behind the net. And driven around the boards to the left side. Robitaille knocked it down. Gets it back to Palpy up the middle. Wisnowski shoots and a save. Rebound to Robitaille. Robitaille checked in the corner by Wade Redden. Radek Bonk comes in. He gives it away to Ziggy Palpy in front to Robitaille. And he tipped it over the net. Palpy got knocked down by Rakunik, and a penalty to Ottawa coming up. Cross-checking is going to be the call, and the Kings go on the power play. Hey, a one-goal deficit is nothing to the Kings tonight. 6-5 Ottawa. We'll be back in a moment.
Senators lead by 1. The Kings will have a chance on the power play. Watch Radek Bonk one time push Luc Robitaille, and the second time he just shoves. And Bob, that's a similar situation to Rob Blake earlier. I don't know if I'm going to say I disagree with it. It seems to me, certainly this year, we know the referees have cracked down on slashing. It appears to me there's a different way of looking at cross-checking right now, because there's no need anymore for that jerking motion. If you put your stick on another player, it looks like you're going to go to the box. That is a change, though.
Matthew Schneider throws it right side. Rob Blake, his shot blocked right back to him. Kings on the power play. Blake moves it back on the right side. Schneider is coming down the left side in front of the net. Ziggy Palpy gives it over to Robitaille. Robitaille shot wide. Kings trying to hold it in, and they do it at the blue line. Here's Ziggy Palpy. Palffy takes his time, feeds it to Schneider. Schneider's at left point. Right point it goes to Rob Blake, to Ziggy Palffy. Palffy looking in front to Schneider. Back to Palffy. Nothing there for Schneider. Now it comes to Robitaille. Over to Stumple, and it never got through. Tipped away behind the net. Stumple with it again. He drops it off. Here's Robitaille in front to Palffy. To Robitaille, to Schneider. Score! Robitaille right in front. Luke Robitaille ties the game with his second of the night, and it's 6-6.
And Bob, I think this game has been about adjustments, and that may be an understatement. Earlier on power plays, the Kings decided to keep it out high. Now they're taking it down low, and they're not perfect passes by any means, but the puck ends up in the net anyway. Stumple keeps it alive. Watch Robitaille. Go up high? No, keep it down low. He tried to pass here across the crease. Doesn't work the first time. Right there, Robitaille on the backhand bounces it off the near post, and that's enough. You'll see the centers get back. 38 is Emmons. Look at it, 4 centers back, but no one picks up Luke Robitaille. It's another example, I think, from the Ottawa Center standpoint of how their defenders are not physical enough in that area, in the pit. And Robitaille, he has a sense for the puck. We've seen that a billion times before. But right there on the backhand, power play works. It's tied up, 6-6.
Robitaille second of the night, 21st of the year. Power play goal. Kings take it away. Reinprecht shovels it up to the blue line. Kings come back to center. Smolinski. Smolinski pass on the right side and pumped over the stick of Glenn Murray. And the puck taken by Ottawa. Back to center. To the blue line. Across the line is Crossbow. Kings back in to try and get it. They lose it there. Just poked away in time by Matty Nordstrom. Here's a shot by Havlat. Knocked down in front. Havlat again. Havlat in the corner. His pass over to Prospo. Prospo, his shot blocked by Blake and cleared to the blue line and up to center ice. Taken now by Smolinski across the line. Right side. Kings changing on the fly. Smolinski looking for help, but none there. And the Ottawa Senators take it away. So Luke Robitaille with his dad here tonight. I saw him earlier, has put in a couple, and he's looking for the hat trick tonight.
Well, it's all about crashing with Luke Robitaille. I don't know if he's had a clear-cut shot on goal tonight, but certainly a lot of crash chances. Another look at that goal. Again, you'll see the Ottawa Senators do what they should do when you collapse. If you stop right here, guys, you'll see Robitaille try to get it over there to Palffy. Schneider's also making away. Look at the 4 Senators. Everyone gets back to help out, but number 6 comes out right here. Now, does he get a piece of Robitaille? No. And the stick is not controlled either. That's one thing coaches try to teach every day, is if you can't get body position, you've got to control the stick. Well, credit Luke Robitaille, too. He knows when to sense, when to move in there, how to use his body to get open for loose pucks. It was there, hard on the backhand to tie it up.
They're driving the official score crazy tonight. He finally caught up on that last Ottawa goal. It was Rakunik getting the goal. His first from Yashin and Redden at 10:15. Then Robitaille for the Kings getting his second of the night and 21st of the year from Palffy and Schneider at 11:36. 6-6 the score with 7:26 to go.
And Jamie Storr had a little bit of a problem with one of the pads. Again, we showed you the other night the old pads that Jamie Storr uses. It looks like it's the glove right there, but he's just getting that back on. He took the glove off to work on those things. 3.5 years old, he still wears them. He's trying to break in a new set of pads, but he's not going with them in the game.
Now the blue line. Kings get it right up the middle. Shot by Emerson and a save by Lalime, and Belanger knocked into him, and the puck cleared all the way back into the King zone, and Rob Blake back to touch it. And a face-off back in the Ottawa zone. Well, Andy Murray, I'm sure, has gone through a roller coaster of emotions in this game tonight. Kings, Rob Blake, his shot blocked. Loose puck, who's got it? Kings do. Backhander by Belanger in front. And a penalty against the Ottawa Senators as LaPerriere got high sticked. I think that'll be the call. And the Kings will go on the power play. Slappy's trying to bite his lip.
Get the razor blade out there. He's trying to show some blood. I think high stick will be the actual call. It looked to me, Laura, like a hook. Sean Gagnon will get the call. You'll see Gagnon reach. Oh, no, there is the high stick. Yeah, he tried to get the hook on the body, but he missed, and the stick came up. Lappy certainly makes sure everyone knows. But you can see there was contact. There he is. You see him. He's looking for some type of blood. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding. The cell does not work. It's only a 2-minute minor, not the double minor. And Lappy still trying to talk to the referee.
Got to get some of that stuff from WWF and just
right.
smack it on his face.
That's real, Bob.
Oh, that's real. Sorry. Game. I'll offend about half the Kings team if I say wrestling is phony.
That's right. I know Step Off, you say listening back home would feel that way.
Puck comes behind the net, taken by Stumple. His pass deflected right back to him. Stumple again in the corner. Kings with a chance to take the lead. Shot by Palpy to save. Rebound Rob Blake. And broke his stick on the shot. And Radek Bonk clears it up to center ice. Blake without a stick stays on the ice. He was going to go get one, but then the Senators took it away. The puck, that is, and the puck comes back out to center ice. A minute 30 left to go in the King power play. What a wild game from Ottawa tonight. 6-6 the score with 6:23 to go in the third period. Bob Miller along with Jim Fox, and hope you're enjoying this scoring fest tonight. Here is Luc Robitaille. He's got two. He gets it to Schneider. Right side to Blake. Now to Palpy. Palpy shot or pass deflected. Robitaille goes for it. Here's Robitaille. Dropped it off to Palpy. Back to Luc Robitaille. Robitaille on the right side. He's ahead of Bossy now in goals. 13th all-time by himself in NHL history. Robitaille back into Palpy. Kings crash the net. Pass in front. Tipped away. Who's going to get it? Bob Blake gets to it. Put it down in the corner. Taken there by Shane Knighty. And Zaminer is there. Kings trying to dig it out. It comes loose, and Zaminer gets to it. 37 seconds to go in the King power play, and here's Palpy chasing Zaminer, who gave it away to Schneider. Schneider, he gets checked with all the boards on a good defensive play by Rakunik, and the puck cleared back into the King zone.
Now, Rakunik with a great read. It looked like the Senators were in trouble for a split second. He maintained his aggressiveness on the play. He didn't back off. Schneider didn't have time to move the puck.
Rakunik, born in the Czech Republic. And the puck fired around the net. He played 6 games at Ottawa last year. Did not score a goal. He's got one here tonight. Here is Schneider. And almost lost by Vishnowsky, but he got it ahead to Smolinski. Now to Reinpret. Reinpret across the line. He battles down the right side. Still has it. Pass up the middle of the blue line. Aki Berg shoots, and a save by Lalime. 4:45 left to go here in the third. Aki Berg again, but his shot deflected back out to center. Chopped ahead there, and the Senators take over, but they need a line change, and it's thrown down in deep by Andreas Dackman.
Pretty good job there on the penalty kill ball by the Ottawa Senators. The Kings had just scored a power play goal, but the Senators making sure the front of the net covered most of the time.
Both teams at full strength. Puck chased down in deep by Jamie Rivers. Slaps it around the boards, intercepted by Belanger. Belanger pushed from behind, gets help from Aki Berg. Berg's pass not handled by Emerson. It came off the boards and cleared up ahead to the blue line to Alexei Yashin. Back come the Senators, 3-on-3. Puck checked away and taken by Belanger. Up ahead to center to Emerson. Swept away from him. Back to Yashin, but Rob Blake beats him to it. Puck comes out to center. Taken there by Emerson. 3-on-3. Emerson to Belanger. Belanger left side, can't get a pass. And Jamie Rivers, the veteran defenseman, back to get it. Sends it around the boards and all the way back into the King zone. And no icing here. They waved it off. It was going to be icing, but the puck slowed down. Puck taken back up to center ice. Taken away now by Shane Knighty back in his own zone. 3:37 to go here in the third period. 6-6 the score. Pass, Robitaille had it for a moment. Then he knocks down Radek Bonk. And the puck cleared to the blue line, but not out. Now it is cleared out to center ice by Matty Nordstrom. Tomorrow night we'll be live in Toronto. The Kings and the Toronto Maple Leafs live at 4:30 Southern California. Here's Marian Hossa cutting in. Hossa chased by Nordstrom. Hossa's pass back to Redden. His shot deflected out of play up into the crowd. 3:08 to go in the third. 12 goals have been scored. It's tied 6-6. This ties the most goals allowed by Ottawa this year. Back on October 21st, they had a 6-6 tie with the Atlanta Thrashers. And here, this is 6-6 tonight. Luc Robitaille, you saw him over on the bench. 2 goals tonight, 574 in his career, and he is now one ahead of Mike Bossy, who had those great years out on Long Island. Now off the face-off in the King zone. Here's Matty Nordstrom into the corner. Nordstrom dropped it off to Rob Blake. Blake checked by Radek Bonk. Over to help out now is Stumple. Stumple tied up by Marian Hossa. Puck comes behind the net. Hossa checked there by Matty Nordstrom. And the Kings trying to get out of their own zone, but Ottawa trying to take it away as Hossa chases Nordstrom, checks him, and Nordstrom's pass comes up the center. Here's Glenn Murray, 2-on-1. Murray to Smolinski, couldn't get the pass, and in front he tried to send it there to Reinprecht, and it came into the corner. Looked like the Kings were going to have a pretty good chance there, but didn't materialize, and we're down to 2:25 to go in regulation. 6-6 the score. Long high shot as Shane Knighty flipped it in, and it's gloved by Jamie Storr.
On that last play, you'll see the puck actually hit the linesman right there on the boards, and that created the 2-on-1. Smolinski's on his off wing on the right side. Right there, the puck bounces right at the last second. Smolinski couldn't get the shot.
Face-off is controlled by the Senators. King zone shot by Rakunik is just wide, and the rebound taken by Nordstrom. Nordstrom's pass intercepted by Alfredson into the corner to McEachern. He had Yashin coming down the middle. McEachern with it again. Gives it to Yashin. McEachern goes right back in front of the net. Yashin checked in the corner. Puck taken away by Rob Blake. And the Kings clear it out the center as Nelson Emerson got knocked down, but he cleared it.
And the smarts and strength of Rob Blake, Bob, on that last play, one-on-one on Yashin. He used the stick first to poke check, buy himself time, then the strength. Move the body in, knock Yashin off the puck.
Matty Nordstrom rolls it right back into the Ottawa zone. Broken up but not cleared. Robitaille in front and chipped wide by Stumple. Stumple goes for it along the boards. He gets checked there. He stays right with it. Gets help from Robitaille. Puck comes loose. Stumple rolled it in the middle, but it's taken away. And back up the center ice comes Martin Havlat. Havlat, the rookie, throws it down into the right wing corner. Stop there for Schneider, but it rolls away from him. Vinny Crossbull trying to get to it. Now taken by Matthew Schneider. Schneider starts out with 1:12 to go in regulation. Up to center ice to Stumple. Tipped away from him. Here's Andreas Dacco into the slot. The three Kings get back, and Schneider over to get it. Schneider's pass. Batted out to center ice by Stumple. No icing here. Won't cross the goal line. Less than a minute to go in regulation. 6-6 the score. Pass up to center ice. And taken by Hossa. Back to Bonk, and a save and a rebound. Comes back on the right side. Big save by Jamie Storr on Radek Bonk. 40 seconds left to go in regulation. 6-6 the score. Puck fired to the King line. Broken up there. Glenn Murray went for it. Flipped back out to center ice. Loose puck. Who's got it? Rob Zaminer. Zaminer's pass taken away by Smolinski. He gets checked from behind by Radek Bonk. 20 seconds left to go in regulation. Puck comes behind the net to Jamie Storr. He sends it around the boards, right side to Glenn Murray. Murray just did get it ahead to Reinprecht. 10 seconds left to go in regulation. Reinprecht rolls it in. Ottawa Senators with it. 5 seconds left. Here's Alfredson at center ice. He gets checked there. 1 second to go, and we're going to overtime in Ottawa. Each team is going to get a point. And when it was 5-1 Ottawa, I think the Kings would settle for a point. It is 6-6 at the end of regulation. The Kings have 36 shots. Ottawa 27. Back with overtime after this.
Welcome back to Kings Classics. We're looking at a regular season game that took place back in 2001 on January 16th in Ottawa. The Ottawa Senators and the Los Angeles Kings. Kings at one point in this game down 4-0 and 5-1. Tied the game 5-5. We wondered, would the Kings' momentum of the second period continue into the third? And it didn't. Ottawa regained the momentum in the game.
That's why the regrouping of the Los Angeles Kings was so important throughout that game, because even though they came back, they fight back in the second. You think everything momentum's going to carry over. It really didn't. And the goal by Rakunik to make it 6-5 was kind of a fluke goal. And I think some people overestimate how much that affects a team. I really believe a fluke goal does not affect a team negatively, because you're in a good position. You do everything right. It hits a stick. It bounces in. You really can't coach against that. You can't prevent it. It's fluke. It happens. I don't think that has an effect on a team. And then the Kings did regroup. But I think throughout the first 3 periods, when you look how it happens, the first period, it was all transition for the Ottawa Senators. Their speed was there. In the second period, the Kings changed the game around because they had a chance to play a little bit more physical, spend more time in the offensive zone. In the third period, the power plays became a big part of it. Rakunik's goal was a power play, and that's why the Ottawa Senators had a 1-goal lead, and then there was another power play coming up.
Yeah, the Kings come back and tie the game on a power play by Robitaille And you mentioned that the Kings at that point had changed their power play strategy from going out near the blue line with passes to getting the puck down low.
I think a lot of Kings fans will remember the situation with the style of the Kings power play, especially early in the season. Now, this game takes place in January, so other teams have had a chance to scout the Los Angeles Kings, but it used to be Palffy on his off wing, holding the puck, luring a checker over, flipping the puck. Rob Blake tags it for a shot on goal. You crash and you get rebounds. And the Kings were extremely successful early in the season doing that. And they started out the game trying to do that. Out high. Try to get the umbrella going. It didn't work. So then they tried some crash plays down low. And when you change it up, variety, it makes it work. And I mentioned earlier about Palffy having an effect. I think I mixed up the goals. It was actually the 6-6 goal where Ziggy Palffy jumped on every loose puck. He ends up getting an assist. He was just that water bug away from the play where he found that puck. And if you don't get that recovery of loose pucks, you're not going to have a good power play. They had it right there with Palffy, and he made it work.
And you point out so many times during our telecast that sometimes the play away from where the puck is that initiates a play or culminates in a goal is so important, and that was happening.
You know, Adam Deadmarsh is not yet on the Kings team right there, but the situation, I talked with Dave Tippett, who was the Kings assistant coach, who was in charge of the power play at that time. And later in the season, they get a guy like Deadmarsh to come in. He brought up these, I said, what's the most important factor on the power play? And Dave Tippett told me, recovery of loose pucks. It's not necessarily that passing, and you want to do that, and you work on that in practice every day, and you have 2 or 3 go-to plays to set up and try to make it work. On the power play is one of the few times in hockey where you actually have set plays. But how you get the puck back after a shot goes into the corner. Well, Palffy did it on the 6-6 goal. Later in the season, you get a guy like Deadmarsh, who may have been the best player in the NHL at that. Chances in there, rebound, he gets the loose puck.
So the Kings have gone from trailing 4-0 and 5-1 to tying the game 6-6, and we get set for sudden death overtime. Can the Kings win it? I'll give you a hint. We don't show losing games. So stick with it. We're going to go to overtime right after this break.
And the puck taken by the Ottawa Senators. 5-minute overtime. First team to score will win. Puck taken now by Marian Hossa. Chipped away from him by Reinprecht at the blue line. And Hossa back to get it. Jim, I think Reinprecht has responded tonight with a really strong game, and that's what Andy Murray was looking for.
Bob, he was expecting to go into a situation where he was going to play on the energy unit. I guess the 4th line, you would call it. That has been turned around because of the way the first period. Right, you're exactly right. I think he changed around on that rebound play earlier in the second when he just jumped on the loose puck to the front of the net. Bryan Smolinski was right there.
Marian Hossa behind the net, and Stumple on top of him, and the puck taken by Rob Blake. Blake back in the Kings zone. Keep in mind, at one time in this game, halfway through, the Kings trailed 5-1. Jamie Storr then came on in place of Steve Passmore in goal, and the Kings turned it around. It's 6-6 here in overtime. Senators cut off by Ziggy Palffy in their own zone, but Rakunik makes a nice play, just patient and hangs on and brings it to center. Now down the right side, McEachern trying to get to it. And we get a whistle on an offside or 2-line pass. Called here is Wisnowski. Well, icing is the call. Not an offside pass. Icing. I want to remind you about the next Kings LA Times Family Day. It's going to be a 1 p.m. afternoon game against the Columbus Blue Jackets on the 24th of February, a Saturday. You get all that for only $79. Call for tickets 1-888-KINGS-LA.
Bob, both teams here going with 2 forwards, 2 defensemen. When they first instituted the 4-on-4 overtime, a lot of teams, especially in this situation, Eastern versus Western Conference, would go 3 forwards and 1 defenseman, open it up quite a bit.
Kings win the draw in the Ottawa zone at the blue line. Schneider shoots. It's deflected right in front. He had Palffy cutting right in front of the net. And the puck taken by Daniel Alfredsson. His pass stolen by Palffy for a moment, but he couldn't catch up to it. And the Senators get it up to Wade Redden. 6-6 in overtime with 3:25 to go. Redden across the line, sends it in deep, and Stumple back to get it for the Kings. His pass around to Schneider. Schneider fanned on a pass, then he gets it up to center ice. Palffy didn't get to it. It's back in the Kings zone now, and back over to Schneider. And a hard check in the corner. Wisnowski knocked down, and he is slow and limping as he gets up. Here come the Kings, left side, Smolinski in the slot. Scores! Kings win in overtime. Smolinski cut right in front of the net and scored in overtime to win the game on a hat trick for the Kings.
Well, from a dismal beginning of this regular season game, the Kings have reason to celebrate. Bryan Smolinski gets the game winner in overtime, and it happens so often, Jim, like not much going on, and all of a sudden there's the opportunity.
You know, with 4-on-4 in overtime, you think everything's going to open up. You're thinking to have more room. You're going to be able to get defense joining the play because both teams had defensemen who like to attack offensively also, but it really didn't happen. And the game-winning goal comes on a one-on-one with Smolinski making a neat little move. Another factor that comes to mind right now is the play of Patrick Lalime, the goaltender. Right now, he's not on the Ottawa Senators. They brought Dominik Hasek into the plan if the NHL was playing right now. That's not the case. But, you know, you want to credit Smolinski with a great move, but it's one of those goals. It's overtime, and it's Patrick Lalime. Just seemed like time after time with the Ottawa Senators. This is going back now a couple years, but he could not come up with a big save, and maybe that's one of the reasons he's no longer with the Senators.
And at the time, you called it the old Marcel Dion move.
Yeah, Bryan Smolinski came into the middle, he flipped the puck up into the air himself, and it's almost like you're passing the puck to yourself. By lifting it up, you're distracting the defenseman a little bit because, you know, all of a sudden he's hesitating. Do I play the man? Do I have to look at the puck? Do you do it? Marcel Dion used to do those types of things, and Marcel was known for a hard, quick release too. The shot by Smolinski wasn't necessarily hard. It was one of those back against the flow where he caught Lalime moving the wrong way.
And it's his third goal for the hat trick, and you and I have commented coaches hate this kind of a game, but the Ottawa fans didn't enjoy it, but I think our viewers did on Fox Sports Net, and we certainly enjoy it. And I think for the most part, if that occurs at home, you'll love to see a game with 13 goals scored.
When you have two coaches like Jacques Martin and Andy Murray, both of those guys are known for being strict system guys. Yeah, you want to have some players that can show skill and you score goals anytime you have. When you have the puck, you go hard and you take chances. When you don't have the puck, you have to be disciplined, you play your system, and you play your position. Both coaches didn't get that night, but we had a great time.
But the Kings got the win, so it didn't start out as a classic, but it certainly ended up as one of the most strange victories, perhaps, in the history of the Kings, getting that far behind and then winning it in overtime on Smolinski's hat trick, 7-6 at Ottawa. That was on January 16th, 2001. For Jim Fox, Bob Miller, thanks again for joining us, and be with us again next time for Kings Classics.
The great one has become the greatest of them all.